Yeah, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast, live Sunday morning edition. Yes. Y'all know what it is. We are here and we are back, and we're going to give you the sports talk the way only we can. Got my main man, the Transformer, here with me. Transformer, what's good?
Yerp. How you doing, bro, man? I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm maintaining, man. Beautiful day here in Jacksonville, Florida. Can't complain.
I hear you.
Yeah, man. You know what? It's funny for having lived in Florida for 10 years. I'm still not a huge Florida guy, but you do get some beautiful days down here, man. I can say that.
We do, man. But it's about to be crazy for the next week, man. It's about to be nonstop rain. We got a big storm coming through. So,
you're right. Yeah,
it's about to get real wet out here.
Yes, it is. No, you're right. That's okay though. It is what it is. You know, save some gas.
Water the grass.
That's it.
Save some gas. Water the grass. There you
right.
go. Right there. There you go.
So that means I got to trim this. I'm looking outside my front window. I got to trim this bush before the rain starts. Okay.
Yeah. Definitely want to trim your bushes, man. Pause.
Yes, got to do that. What's going on? It's not that serious. What's going on? So, as it's not serious as here, let's shout out the channel members, shall we?
Yes, sir.
All right. So first, of course, number one channel member, original OG Laker Nation. What's good, Laker Nation? How you doing, my brother? Laker Nation is, if you're not aware, the host of the Be Ready Sports Podcast. And listen, if y'all don't know, in order to be ready, you got to stay ready. Right. So make sure y'all go ahead, check that show out, like and subscribe to it. He does some real good work over there. Really gives an opportunity for the younger athletes that are coming up now that we may be talking about in the future. He gives an opportunity for those guys to shine. And shout out Carlos, man. Carlos is his young bull that's on there too, co-hosting with him. And Carlos does a great job. And we may see that young fella on ESPN someday. So yeah, go ahead, check that out. Make sure you like and subscribe to it. Appreciate that. Baltimore Bruce was good. Chief Sid Bubba. Shout out Chief Sid Bubba. Shout out the boys from Annapolis.
Anchors away, my boy. Anchors away. Okay, man, go ahead. I'll run the whole
boys from Annapolis. Yeah. Nah, I gotta show love and respect to the United States Naval Academy because y'all know they put foots in my
boots to asses.
To asses.
Yes, they did. They mud monkey stomped my Army Black Knights in the annual Army Navy game last year. So got to show those guys love, man. Got to show those guys love. So what's up, Chief? Also, it's not that serious. What's good? It's not that serious. How you doing, brother? So yeah, those are our members. If you want to become a member, man, go ahead and first like and subscribe to the channel, and then of course you can go ahead and you can become a member. So do all that for us, man. Do all that. Anyway, before we get started, and we have some good topics for y'all today, mostly basketball. And then, of course, you know, because we're football freaks, we got to get one of those in before we leave. I smoke rocks. That's right. But before we get into these topics, y'all, let's go ahead. We'll do the spiel, and then we'll get it rolling. By the way, what's up, Steve? I see you in the chat. King of the chat.
Steve.
What's going on, my brother? Go Irish. Yeah.
You haven't done it in a while.
If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast. We should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us a like, leave us a 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. Make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, make a note of it. The Format Podcast is live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, if you're really and truly enjoying the content we're delivering you, make sure you hit that join button. There's going to be exclusive content here just for you. Yes. All right. So You want to go ahead and get it started, Transformer?
Yes, sir, man. Let's get this thing cracking, bro. Let's
do it. What up, Bootage?
We're gonna start off with a little quick hit here, and we're gonna switch the pivot a little bit. We don't talk often about boxing, but last night one of the biggest events, biggest happenings happened in boxing. If you're definitely familiar with the lightweight division, and the former WBO lightweight champ and Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah,
boy, was this a week for Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis was supposed to fight Edwin De Los Santos for the championship belt as of last night. However, failed to make weight. And his excuse is that he tried to lose weight, but he's outgrowing the weight. And literally came to the scale, danced up to the scale, celebrated, and looked at the fact that he lost. I mean, he didn't make weight and lost his WBO lightweight championship belt. So you would think that would be the end of, hearing from Keyshawn Davis for the rest of the night, as on the undercard, not the undercard, but the next main fight was going to be Abdullah Mason fighting what's his name? Jeremiah Nada Thea.
Difficult to pronounce that.
Yeah, but a little difficult. So don't get at me for butchering his name. But that ended up turning to the main event, and Abdullah Mason did exactly what he was supposed to do, and that's just take care of your food, don't play with it, and got him out of there with a 5th round TKO. Looked extremely dominant, and got the lunch up out of there. So Keyshawn Davis attended the fight. With along his 2 other brothers, I believe Keon Davis, and I forget the third brother's name. They also fought that day, but I believe Keon won his fight. The other brother lost his fight against a fighter by the name of Nahir Albright. Lost the fight, right? And not a split decision, unanimous decision by the scorecards. However, you would think it ends there. Keyshawn Davis was apparently shown just flat out eating popcorn and junk food all in the crowd watching the fight. But post the fight of Nahir beating his little brother, they go to the back. And backstage, it's video floating around the media waves of the Davis brothers jumping Nahir Albright and leaving him with a severe knot. Not severe. Severe is a little trash, but a noticeable knot on the top right eye of Nahir Albright. Nahir Albright, had something to say in an interview post that, acknowledging the fact that that they did walk up on him with ill malice intent, and then fisticuffs started flying right after that. So not only did Keyshawn Davis lose his belt, his WBO lightweight belt, he's likely now to be severely suspended by the boxing committee. Excuse me, by the boxing committee. So Bruce, man, you missed it. I'm not sure if you got a chance to witness any of the fight last night or any of the boxing match last night. What is your take on how Keyshawn Davis's career is likely to start spiraling downhill?
Yeah, so this is interesting because I heard Timothy Bradley talking about it prior to the Abdullah Mason fight starting after Keyshawn's brother lost in not controversial, but lost the fight to Albright. So I'm listening and Timothy Bradley ripped him, right? Because Timothy Bradley says, when he fought against Provodnikov back in the day, I think he said weigh-in day of the fight, he came in 10 pounds over, but he made weight. He says, Keyshawn not making weight, that's a discipline issue. Because he says, I think he said 3 or 4 months prior, Keyshawn made the weight. So you outgrew the weight in 3 or 4 months? Really? And then on top of that, he said, when they checked Keyshawn, they said he was dry, which means he wasn't, he wasn't working up a sweat, working up a lather and, doing what he needed to do, whether it was the sauna or the extra PT or whatever, to try and make the weight. So, because I would assume that as a fighter, even before you go out there for the official weigh-in, where your weight is, right?
Yep.
So, to not make it, and I've heard multiple fighters talk about it. I heard former middleweight champion Sergio Morris say the same thing. Like, these guys don't respect when dudes don't make weight because it's a discipline issue, right? Yep. If you can't make the weight, don't sign to fight at that weight class. So then, you don't make the weight, you get stripped. And he's a talented young fighter.
You know,
right. You end up getting stripped of your title. The fight gets canceled. It's like all this. And then you and your brother go jump the dude in the back because you lose the fight. Like, what is this? You know, it's degenerate behavior, man. Degenerate
it's
behavior.
not boxing. It's not boxing.
No.
You're not showing up to a professional event, right? Knowingly, you were supposed to be the headline of the event.
Right.
Not make the event because of your lack of discipline on making the weight.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get even more rowdy by going and jump the dude that just beat your brother.
Yeah.
Like these ain't the streets, man. This ain't the streets.
Right.
Like this
Yeah.
ain't man, I'll go get my big brother. We'll come back and
Right.
jump you type stuff.
Yeah,
We're
cut that out.
professional fighters. There's
That's right.
money invested in both of these
Mhm.
fighters, invested in this arena, invested in this event,
Mhm.
invested in this company, invested in these titles,
Right.
right? Many committees come together to make these things happen, and you put a bad light on it, paint a bad light on it.
Mhm.
Just such reckless behavior. And on top of that, I'm not sure if you guys saw the video, but there was a baby involved in a stroller.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
You
The
catch
baby stroller was like darn near in the middle of the entire catastrophe that was going on back there. So you see Keyshawn Davis coming back to get the baby stroller after he finally calmed down because he's still trying to get after Nahir Albright. And
Mhm.
finally, after he's calmed down, security keeps pushing him and the police getting involved and separating
Mhm.
everybody. He then goes back to get the stroller. Where's your mind at, man?
I don't know.
Where's
man.
your mind at? There's a baby out there. Like you're a professional, you're former champ. You're still undefeated.
Mhm.
This ain't the end of your career because you didn't make weight,
That's
right?
right.
It's
That's
on to
right.
the next. You and your team, you get in there and you figure out what's happening next, what fight you want next. I was hoping Abdullah Mason would have been one of the
Yeah.
options. That would have been
Maybe Tank
your-
Davis. You know, like there's some names out there.
no
I
Tank
think
Davis.
he's still a little young for Tank Davis,
Yeah,
but
I think
what
Tank
we're
Davis
just saying in
is
terms of making big fights, if you had gone out here, done what you're supposed to do, showed out, then maybe it's a big money fight. And even if you lose to Tank, you get paid well. I'm not saying he's going with that attitude, but it is prize fighting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh man, it's bad. It's bad for boxing. Of course, over the next week, it might not even take that long. I'm pretty sure the box committee is going to go through an investigation on Keyshawn Davis, and he's likely to be suspended. I would say probably a year. They'll probably give him a year suspension for something like that because now police were involved. There were children involved. You struck and visibly injured a boxer post his fight already. Because if you look at the side by side when he was announced the winner, knot wasn't on side of his head. And when he did the interview after the jumping, there was a noticeable knot on the side of his head. So now you're committing harm against a fellow.
Realistically, they could sue you for that, right?
They could.
That's not something that happened, as you mentioned, during the course of the fight in the ring.
Yeah,
like, this is something else entirely.
Yeah, and you know, boxers' hands are registered weapons.
Yes, that is correct.
They're registered weapons, so they can't use them outside of their profession. So you're right, man. It could be some charges. I like Nahir Albright's comment following that. He said, "Hey, it's all good. Now he has to see me in the ring. Like, you know, you did that in the back. No, we got to settle this in the ring." So, of course, Nahir Albright's taking a little bit more of a high road, and challenging him, calling him out. Yeah, you want to jump me? Let's catch that one-on-one. I already beat your brother, so now, you know, give me a chance at fighting you. So,
no doubt,
that's what's happening up in the boxing world, man. You got anything else on that?
Nah, man.
Okay,
you hit that properly.
Oh man, I didn't hit him.
No, you did not.
That dude probably messed me up. That man, I got that boy about 30, 40 pounds. He'll still boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, that man's too fast. Yeah.
I got to grab him. Man, you got to grab that dude.
Right. That's where you got to come in. You kick him, take a leg out. Okay.
Take it straight to ground and pound. Pause.
Right.
Next up on the quick hit list here. I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied. Maybe it's the fruit that I'm eating on.
Could be.
Draymond Green. Had some
Green.
things to say on his show, the Draymond Green podcast, about top 5 all-time defenders. Oh boy, let me pull my article up because I want to quote precisely what he said on this interview, guys. Bear me just 2 seconds here. All right. Starting off, the question was, who do you consider, you know, you're the greatest defenders of all time? Quote, What you should understand about me is that I think I'm number one on that list. End quote. That's the start. So I know it's got to get interesting, right?
Can I interrupt you real quick? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm not mad to some extent. You know, you're a player. You have this belief.
Yeah.
But you probably shouldn't say certain things out loud. But go ahead.
It's like one of them things you say in your brain, like, man, you something to hype you up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you say it out loud, you're like, I don't know. I don't think I should have said that.
Right.
Because he goes on to list his top 5. However, I think my top 5 to go in order, he's really not a big fan of those. But his top 5 defenders, he would say Ben Wallace is on that list in no particular order, by the way. Ben Wallace is on that list. Tony Allen is on that list. Tim Duncan is on that list. And his last spot goes to. Oh, you're not going to hit the button? You're not going to hit the button?
Hakeem, your dream.
Hakeem, your dream. It goes to Hakeem Olajuwon.
When it comes to Draymond, I don't know what this dude is going to say. Good morning, Sneed. And real quick, shout out to Sneed and the SMT Media Network, the inspiration for this topic here, talking about Draymond. So thank you for that, Sneed. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. I was frustrated watching it. I was like, wait, what? What are you talking about?
Right.
Like, come on, man. It's so many defenders, man, that I'll put over Dre. He's not even on the Mount Rushmore, in my opinion. But we'll get to that in just a second. Right. He then goes to say, in due fairness, right? He also understands that he didn't include Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. All in all to say, he has the utmost respect for those guys, the pioneers, the utmost respect. But I'll be lying to you if I'm like Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain. Like, I'll be just going off of stats. But I don't love when people do that because there's an eye test, and I haven't seen enough of their games to say that. Referencing, I'm born in 1990. It's not enough film for me to go back and watch their game to understand their game. However, he has Hakeem Olajuwon on this list because there was enough film and he was old enough to be able to watch Hakeem Olajuwon. That is why Hakeem's on this list. So if you come in the comments and you're like, hey, no Wilt Chamberlain, no Bill Russell, that was his reasoning for not including those. He has the utmost respect for him. However, he only knows the stats. He didn't see them play. And I think, on a side note, and I'm going to make this very, very quick, that's where a lot of the league, the criticism is going to go now. Because not going to say they're going to be forgotten. We have to do a better job of reminding, right? Being more educational about the older generation and things that, others have witnessed, people your age, people a little bit older than us, and things like that. So the younger generation can understand, and we won't have comments like an Anthony Edwards saying that they don't know nothing about these other players. When there's film, there are articles and things about these certain players. So I think we got to do a better job with that. But so far, Bruce, what's your take on Draymond Green's stance?
I think you already know, but for the sake of the show and the people in the chat, Draymond Green is one of the best defenders of his era. I'm not going to dispute that.
I would respect that. Yeah.
Right. For him to say he believes he's the best defender of all time, I think that's just silly, right? Because we can easily come up with a number of defenders off top that we think are better than him, right? We can go, as you said, we can go Dream, we can go D-Rob, we can go Ewing, we can go Mutombo, we can go Meta Sanford Artest, we can go, of course, Scottie Pippen, we can go Gary Payton, we can go Michael Jordan, right? That's 8 right there. Easily. Kevin Garnett, Dwight Howard. Thank you. That's 10 easily off the top of the head that we can say are better defenders than Draymond Green, right? That doesn't mean Draymond is not a great defender. We're not saying that. He's a defensive player of the year. He's a multiple-time All-NBA defender. He's a guy that we're going to give him his due. But to Tony Allen, great one, Steve. Great one.
I have him on my list as well.
Ask the late great Mamba about that. Dennis Rodman. Thank you, Crypto Chad. How did I forget Dennis Rodman, right?
You said Rodman.
Already no, I didn't say Rodman. You said Rodman. I didn't.
Oh, I said Rodman. Okay.
Right. So the point is, that's already 12 right there. Easy. Just off the top of the dome. Pause. That are better than freaking Draymond Green, right? So it's no disrespect to Draymond to say, okay, he's argued one of the best defenders of his era, but to say first of all, he's not even the best defender in his era. That's Kawhi Leonard, right? So, like, what are we really saying here? I understand. I really understand. Focus. That What?
I saw your face. Focus.
No, what I was going to say is I really understand that Draymond has the confidence and that he is one of the better defenders of his era. But to say he's the best defender of all time, I think is absurd, plain and simple.
No, man. Again, I give it to him that he's boosting himself up, right? I mean, you want to talk. If somebody asks you who's the best, you're like, I am. Like with Kobe, Kobe asks who the best. I'm the greatest player, right? Jordan, I'm the greatest player. Bron, I'm the greatest player, right?
Right.
You all about like, hey, if I'm one of the upper echelons of defenders or players, I'm going to put myself on top of that list, right? Why would I put myself second? Like, you know what I mean? I'm definitely going to big myself up. But the rest of his list, like I said, I could definitely respect it. I have Hakeem Olajuwon on my list. I had Mutombo on my list. I had Dwight Howard on my list. I had Ben Wallace and I had Dennis Rodman. That was my top 5 as far as defenders. Big. I mean, Hakeem Olajuwon, it just goes without saying. 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, averages the the highest career average, 3.1 blocks per game. Led the league 3 times in blocks. That just goes without saying, right?
Right.
Ben Wallace was a terror.
A terror.
Only 6'8", 6'9", but he played like he was 7 foot, right? I mean, when you thought you had the wide open layup, he's just coming out of nowhere and sending it into the 5th row, right? Just for no reason. He walked around like he played in black Air Force Ones. That's how he. That's how he played. Like you thought he like came in the stadium and he's playing in black Air Force Ones. He came with malice intent, ill malice. I'm pissed off, right? His hair isn't growing any further than them 2 to 3 inches that he had as a fro. That's right. That headband can only be so tight, right? He played like there was a problem going on in his life.
Yeah.
And it was all defense.
Yeah, that's defense. What I was about to say.
He was not known.
He did.
Correct. Yeah. He was not known as for anything offensively. He was literally for the Detroit Pistons, the defensive anchor that you just. Shaq had problems with this guy.
Yeah.
Shaq, 7'1", 300 pounds. Had problems with this guy who's 6'8", 6'9", man. So that just goes without saying. Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, great point.
I mean, the antics plus the physical tools, plus the athletic attributes that Dennis Rodman just put on you. Somebody will mention Lonzo Mourning. He just got in Lonzo Mourning's head. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes,
I'm a free throw line. I'm gonna just stare at you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look at you and I'm gonna pat you on the butt multiple times because I want to get you out your game mentally first. But on top of that,
the dudes and all type of wildness.
Like dude, man, like.
But even beyond this, though, his actual defensive skill was absurd. Between the because think about it, Rodman defended everybody from like Shaq to Glenn Rice. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying?
That just shows you how athletic he was. Truly, the man was a pure athlete, man. Pure athlete. Mutombo, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. Other than Rudy Gobert, and I don't mean to shame Rudy Gobert. Don't mean to, right? But I got to. Other than Rudy Gobert, Jesus. You win the Defensive Player of the Year 4 times. I got to put you on the list.
So let me say this real quickly. I, to some extent, agree and understand why people feel how they feel about Gobert. I think the biggest problem with Gobert is that he came along in the wrong era.
He came along in
terms of he is a traditional rebounding, rim defending big. And in an era where they want to switch everything. But real quick, if you have Rudy Gobert on your team, why would you play defense like that instead of allowing him to be an anchor? It is poor defensive coaching, and it is I can't remember what the word, but basically it's just blatant mismanagement as a coach to allow Rudy Gobert to get caught out there on an island with a guard. That's all there is to it. But anyway, that's a whole different story. Yeah. Pippen, freaking, Pippen.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Scottie Pippen for sure.
Yeah,
Scottie Pippen for sure.
Yeah,
top 5. No, I wouldn't have him as my top 5, but
a lot of people have him as
like guys
because of his defensive versatility.
Yeah,
he's gotten 1 through 4, and he was,
Yeah, absolutely. I mainly focus on the guys who made a career known just for defense.
Yo, we didn't name Tim Duncan Transformer. I'm sorry to cut you. That guy's 15 times all NBA defense.
I was getting there.
I'm sorry. My bad. I did not mean. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Okay.
No, but I'm gonna let you cook with that one. I'm gonna let you cook with that one. Tim Duncan, I have it 8-time first team, 7-time second team. Go ahead.
Right. No, I brought him up because I saw Crypto Chad's comment about Kobe making 12 all defensive teams and 9-time first team. And so I was like, wait a minute, Timmy. Oh my, how did we forget Timmy? So absolutely. My bad. I didn't mean to get ahead of you there.
One of the greatest defenders to never win the Defensive Player of the Year.
Crazy, right?
Of course, he played in an era with Ben Wallace and Kevin Garnett and those guys. So
and Tony Allen and
Tony Allen,
Artest and
absolutely. And Tim Duncan definitely would be deserving if he played now. He would have definitely won a Defensive Player of the Year. Just his prowess.
I'm with you, Crypto Chad. I'm with you.
Yeah. Timmy under El Jefe. Excuse me. I can't call him Greg Popovich no more. His name is El Jefe. Tim Duncan under El Jefe.
Yes.
Was a master student of the game. Right. He's one of the players where he was such a student to his coach. That he became the teacher. Yeah, he obviously he's on the sideline right now for the San Antonio Spurs. Even in retirement, he follows El Jefe everywhere. Like wherever El Jefe goes, I'm following him. Right?
Yeah, he's on that Spurs staff now.
He's on the Spurs staff. He's such a student mind and great mind of the game. Took basic skill, made it an elite skill. Defensively sound, rebounding, scoring. Using the glass. That's why it's there. That big square that's on the back of the backboard, he used that to the T. Like, why do I have to make the shot hard? Right? Why do I have to make this 15-footer hard? Oh, that's the glass. Kiss the glass. Boom. It's in there. Timmy. Just simple tools that are lost in the art of the game today. As you see, a lot of players today don't even utilize the backboard other than for a layup. But you got guys like Tony Allen.
I'm sorry. No, it's the Chief Sid Bubba said Sidney Moncrief. That's a great one. Yeah. And if you go in there, Boston Strangler, Andrew Toney. If you're going there, of course, Laker, Michael Cooper, Cooper Lou. So, but Larry
it's a
Bird,
bunch of great defenders, man.
Yeah. So I think
Did you say Larry Bird?
No, I was saying Larry Bird said that Michael Cooper was such a difficult assignment, in terms of guys defending him. That's what I was saying. Yeah,
I say I love Larry Bird now.
No, that's not. No defender. Not gonna, I think he made a couple second team all defense. We're not going to include him in this discussion at all.
Gary Payton, man, when you get a nickname for your defense, come on, man, you belong on somebody's list, right? He's not quite on mine. I could probably make an argument he should be on mine, but come on, man,
he's on mine. He's on mine.
You called the glove. Now, if I was to make a 1 through 5, then Gary Payton would be my 1. Absolutely. Without question. Right.
Defensively, I'm good with that.
Yeah, defensively be my 1 Payton, as far as defense.
Jordan, Scottie Pippen. That 4 spot, that is the toughest one, I think, to choose if you're doing it by position. Yeah. Of all time defenders. Because like you said, you got
Dennis Rodman,
you have
Garnett,
KG, you have Denzel. There you go. So I don't even want to try and figure that out.
Yeah, me either. I don't have the time. This is supposed to be this is a long, quick hit, guys. So this is going to seem more like a segment because there's a lot to dig into when you're talking your top 5 defensive player of the years on top of what Draymond Green had to say. I'm pretty much past him putting himself at the top of the list because as you just dive into the defenders with these accolades and you remember the game and how they played it and how it was just a terror every single night. Yeah. Dre, let me say this. Draymond Green is a great defender, an all-time great defender. He's on this list of great defenders.
Right.
But putting yourself in the number 1 spot, bro, I can't.
Don't do that.
I can't do that. Right. Now, granted, four-time champion. I believe he won Defensive Player of the Year one time. Yeah. And he's a key cog for the Golden State's championship.
Absolutely.
Right? Without him, you lose 2 things. And because Draymond Green, people talk about how he just doesn't do anything. He has Steph.
No, he's a Swiss Army knife, man.
He's the glue for those guys.
Absolutely.
Steph Curry doesn't make a quarter of the threes that he makes without Dre. because of
That's correct.
how in sync that Dre and Steph are.
Yeah,
like
they
Dre
really are.
on a pick and roll or
You know
on a
what they are?
rebound, fast break.
They are the NBA version of Mahomes and Kelsey. That's what they are.
Yeah.
They work
I like
so
that.
well. Yeah, that's what they are.
Yeah, I do like that. I do. When Kelsey's not on that field, Patrick looks a little like, dang,
He looks different. He looks different.
man, my number one guy ain't there. And you can see, and you see that on the court, right? When Dre's not on the floor, Steph is upset. He's like the one game where Dre got himself kicked out. Steph Curry, like 6 to 8 minutes later, got himself kicked out of the game. He threw his mouthpiece. He was like,
Oh yeah,
bro. I'm not playing this game without Draymond Green. You see Draymond Green without Steph. Dre's like, well, who am I kicking the rock to? Like I don't have my main guy, my Batman, to be control the offensive side of the ball. So yeah, that's not to say that this is all not to say that Draymond Green is not a great defender, but he's just definitely not number one. That's for damn sure. Damn sure not number one. But he's not even on the Mount Rushmore of defenders.
Right. So let me say this before we wrap up this. One, no Bruce, no Muggsy Love. I'm not from Baltimore. And realistically, Muggsy was 5'3", so you could take him into the post. So no, I'm not putting him up there. Yeah, he was great. If you face him up, he's going to take that from you and be, getting a layup on the other end. That said, no Muggsy Love in this discussion. Secondly, I didn't ignore you earlier when you mentioned Bron. I'm just not going to do this because when I bring up Bron, y'all complain that we can't do a topic without talking about Bron. Then when we're not talking about him, y'all bring him up. So no, I'm not going to let you walk me into that.
Not.
Finally, Jordan
now,
numbers.
He's a 5-time first team, but that's pretty much
that's a lie. So no. Anyway, let's go on.
All right. In the chat, man, do me a favor, chat. Give me your top 5.
Yes.
I want to see your top 5. Let me see what your top 5 looks like in comparison. Do you agree with the 4 that Draymond left on his list? Do you have those 4 on your list? Do you agree with my list? Bruce, I don't think we ever got your top 5. Do you have a top 5?
Defenders?
Yeah.
I would say Dream, Rodman, Pippen, Mike, and GP. There you go. Easy work.
So you're going 1 through 5. You're not doing just 5 periods.
It wasn't actually my intent to do that, but I guess it ended up that way. Whenever I do these lists, I tend to think by positions. Yeah.
Yeah, so, you definitely gave a position list, but it was perfect. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with nobody on that list.
I didn't intend for it to be that way. It just worked out that way.
Yeah, you went straight 5 to 1. It was in perfect order. You went center, power forward, small forward, shooting guard.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
right in order.
My bad.
No, absolutely. But give us what you guys think in the chat, man.
You definitely could argue Timmy instead of Rodman. So however you want to do that.
You can argue Timmy. The only thing Timmy doesn't have on his resume is the Defensive Player of the Year. Literally,
so you know what I think?
Other than that, 15
is a big part of that though. Transformer. What is the expression? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. Is that how it goes? I think it's something like that. Okay, so basically, it's like I think that Tim Duncan missed out on a lot because he wasn't a look at me guy. He just quietly went about destroying everything.
Yeah, and
so I think when you're not not crying, but when you're not demanding the attention, people don't really pay attention to how great you are. I'm not gonna lie. When Timmy was playing, I was like, yeah, he's really good, but like looking back now, I'm like, yo, that dude he was a problem. Thank you, Sneed. As the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Okay, there you go. Right. So not the oil, the grease. But yeah, so that's what it is. So I really think that because Tim Duncan didn't demand attention, he just went out and did the work quietly. People didn't pay attention to his greatness. Like that's why, like, when you hear other people talk about, what did KG said he used to try to talk to him and it would drive him crazy because he wouldn't answer. Or he would say something little like, gotcha. Maybe next time.
That's to piss me off.
Nice try.
Gotcha. And then run up the court.
Yeah, Bruce Bowen. That's a great one. Yeah, that's a great one.
Oh, Bruce Bowen is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Bowen is a good one. Them Spurs years, man, he was a problem. He was definitely a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But man, give me your top 5, chat. We're gonna move on over to the next topic. We're gonna actually start the show. Like we said, that Draymond Green take, it was a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sneed once again, SMT Media Network.
Yes.
For the inspiration, man. I immediately had to go find that article, and then I didn't even know it was on his show, so I had to hear what he had to say. Because I'm like, no, There's no way he's just like, well, I'm putting myself on top of that list. I took that as more as I'm just putting myself on top of the list.
Yeah,
You're not telling me I'm not the best defender of all time. My mama said, my mama said, that's what I got from that.
That's funny. That's funny.
All
hey,
right.
Thank you, Crypto Chad. Well, make sure you give that like and subscribe, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely, man. Appreciate it.
Okay, Crypto Chad has almost the same defensive 5 that I have, but he has Shaq at center. That's interesting. So where that bothers me, the Shaq piece, Shaq averaged 3.9 blocks per game as a rookie, and he never got there again. That shows you that he could have if he wanted to be a dominant defender. But I don't get the feeling like he wanted to as his career advanced. So
yeah, I think it was the weight change, right? When he started packing on the weight, because I think he came in the league at what, 280 or something like that.
290, yeah. But the way he used to run the floor, like he used to push the break,
fast break with the ball.
Yes,
with the ball, penny over.
Yeah,
I used to watch him like, where's it going?
Coast to coast,
coast to coast. Shaq, I'm going straight to the basket, right?
Yeah.
But you look at as he gained weight, Shaq. Thank you, Sneed. Shaq started fading as a defender because everything for him was primarily offense. He was like, I'm just so big and dominant. Ain't nothing you can do about me anyway.
Right,
I'm 350, 360, and there's nobody in the league nowhere near as big as I am. And if they are, they're probably taller. So I'm going to go right through their chest, right? And dominate. So as far as being an elite defender, you can say Orlando Shaq would be on the list. I would put Orlando Shaq on the list, but I wouldn't put Lakers Shaq on the list.
Right.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yep. But
all right, let's get to it. Let's go to our first topic.
Oh boy, first topic: NBA Finals Game 2. I felt like this game was like a week ago now. I mean, they gave it a nice little break. I believe the game is tonight, to be exact. But Game 2, following the Game 1, blender of the 25 turnovers by the Indiana Pacers and the dominant, just scrappy defense by the Oklahoma City Thunder, they all of a sudden found a way not to score the ball in the fourth quarter, and Indiana came back with a down 15 lead twice. And Halliburton, hit a 20-foot jumper to win and steal Game 1 to take home court advantage for the Indiana Pacers. So now, Game 2 is upon us. We've been here before. OKC has been here before. They lost Game 1 against the Denver Nuggets, in which they came back in Game 2 and put boots to asses in Game 2 to remind them okay, we were the number 1 team in the NBA for a reason, right? And we're going to show you why. And obviously they came back to win that series, and of course because they're in the NBA Finals. So we're now at Game 2. OKC, what needs to happen in this game for OKC to be back behind the steering wheel?
So I would say, as you can see from the thumbnail, sorry, my bad on the late switch over. But what I would say, as you can see from the thumbnail, we need a Chet Holmgren showing. He needs to show up. If he can give you 15, I think OKC blows him out in Game 2. You just need 15, and I would say 8 rebounds, right, from Chet Holmgren. Nobody is expecting him to be, Hakeem or D-Rob or Shaq. Obviously, he's not that. He's never going to be that, right? But we do need Chet Holmgren to show up and be a contributor, right? So let's say if you get 30 from SGA, because you're pretty much always going to get 30 from SGA.
Correct.
And then you get 15 from Holmgren, and you get 18 to 20 from Jalen Williams. Everybody else chips in 6, 8, 9, right in there. You will win this game going away. Because think about it. We are giving Indiana a great deal of credit, as we should, for the tremendous comeback, for them not getting rattled, for them staying in the game, doing what they did. And of course, what the hell, he knocking down yet another game winner, right? Showing that ice water in his veins, right? But at the same time, nobody's talking about the fact that for all of that, they won that game by 1 point. 1 point. So, yeah, exactly. Right. Buzzer beater. So the point is, I think that provided the Thunder gets a little more production from Holmgren, I think that this game could get ugly. And to your point, we've also seen that in these playoffs, when when OKC loses, they come back with a vengeance that next game and destroy people. So Indy better be ready. They better be ready.
Yeah, absolutely. 7-3, 7-2, 7-3, however you want to label Chet Holmgren. There's no way I'm coming out of that game with 6 points. Just no way, right? I can't be a starter, and I'm 7'3", and I'm not Rudy Gobert. I'm not known for just defense, right? I'm known to contribute offensively, right? Miles Turner was in foul trouble in that game. So Miles Turner didn't see the floor the entire time. Let me see, how many minutes did Miles Turner play? He played 27 minutes. So you mean to tell me out of that entire game, when Miles Turner, which is their premier center defender, he wasn't in the game and you couldn't score anything more than 6 points, right? Siakam was guarding you and you couldn't score over Siakam, right? I definitely need more production out of my big like that, especially if they're starting them. I'm hoping that they go back to putting Hartenstein at the starting position. All season, they started Hartenstein. All season. It got you to where you are now, right? I saw I can't remember who said it. But they said that OKC saw what Indiana did to, I believe it was Cleveland, when they ran two bigs. They just ran them off the floor, right? You ain't Cleveland. You ain't Cleveland. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let play your game, play your strategy, play the way that got you here. And if you lose, then make the adjustment. If it ain't broke, I'm not fixing it, right? I'm at least going to try it out there and see if they can run me off the floor. They may be gassed. They just ran New York off the floor. They might be tired. All the turnovers that we commit, that we forced them to commit in that first half. Oh, they're tired, obviously, right? A little bit exhausted, nerves a little bit high when the NBA Finals. So I'm going to run my normal lineup, and I'm going to make them make me change my lineup, right? Not, I saw what y'all did against Cleveland. I'm going to go ahead and change my lineup now, so I have to worry about it later. Look what happened. You lose game one.
They they just outthought themselves. That's all that is.
Yeah. You can't. You shouldn't change the rotation if you don't need to.
Yeah. Do what you do, man. Yeah, that's what really needs to happen. Do what you do.
Man, that profile pic is a little crazy, bro.
Hey, man.
Shout out my man, Mr. Wilson, bro.
Yeah.
Must be a model.
Maybe so.
That's a model, man. You're a model, bro.
Right there. That's for the breezies.
Just asking. We'll plug you in with some of the females in the chat, bro. No, but shout out, Greg, man. Great comment. Great comment. But yeah, man. Obviously, you said you hit it on the nose. We know what we're gonna get from Shea, right? We know what we're gonna get from Shea. We know we're gonna get defense from Lou Dort. We know we're gonna get defense from Alex Caruso. We need more production out of Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams. Those guys can just be a little bit more efficient. I believe Jalen Williams shot 31.6% from the field. That's not the Jalen Williams I need, right? I need you to be a little bit more consistent. Help me out on the back end and give me some great production, right? Because obviously Indiana got it. Me and Sneed were in agreement of Obi Toppin not being playable.
That was funny, right?
He put his foot right in our mouth. He put his foot right in our mouth and said, "Okay, say less.
I got something for you."
Make 5 threes.
You were saying,
right? And they were big time. Every time he shot it and made, I'm like, all right, that's big time. All right, that's big time. 17 points. He almost doubled what he almost tripled what Chet Holmgren got you, and Chet Holmgren was your starter, right? So Obi Toppin, I don't expect him. I don't foresee him going Steph Curry hot like that again. But again, he changed the game. He definitely was a big key to that run.
But you know what, though, to that point about not necessarily going Steph Curry hot, if I'm not mistaken, the Pacers are the best three-point shooting team in these playoffs. So
are they?
They can knock down shots here. So you got to continue to defend, and we know that. I think OKC is going to make adjustments and get back to being themselves, man. But again, to me, the biggest thing we need is Chet Holmgren, producing and giving something.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure. I had another question.
So Bruce says, while you think about that, Bruce says Indy's gonna win because Rick's gonna outcoach OKC like he did in 2009 against Miami. thought that was 11.
That was 2011.
Anyway,
that was 2011.
okay, right.
Kobe won in 09.
So that's what I was about to say, man. Look, I am not a gambler. However, Bruce has called every series correctly except the opening one with the Lakers. And I think he did that more with his heart, but he has called every series correctly. So if y'all want to gamble, go see Bruce and
take him with you.
Yeah.
Take him with you.
Absolutely. But I think what we saw though, I still have the Thunder winning in 6. I think they're just too good. However, I think what we saw is that the Pacers are not going to allow themselves to get run out of here. That's just not going to happen. We've seen they can be down, they'll come back. So,
wow.
We know how well they're coached. What's that?
No, they're leading the league in 3-point percentage by a wide margin.
Yeah, they're knocking shots down.
40.5% from 3. Yeah, and they're leading the league in field goal percentage.
Yeah.
In the playoffs. I'm talking just playoffs.
Yeah, in the playoffs, yes. But no, I think that OKC is going to, I think they're going to come out tonight and do some work, man.
Yeah. I think the only thing that they needed, everything for the Oklahoma City Thunder was flowing smooth. The defense they were hellacious in that first half. Just couldn't score.
No.
Right? Just couldn't score. They shot 39% from the field. They shot 36% from 3. I mean, I need to put the ball in the basket, man. I get the turnovers. That's cool.
Yeah,
that should result in more points. I'm just not getting the points at the other end.
Right.
We got out rebounded by 17. Right? We got out rebounded by 17. That's extra baskets for the Indiana Pacers. Right? We need to score. I'm taking the ball from you, but I need to do something with it. So all these turnovers are just turnovers. I mean, it's just taking the ball back, getting extra possessions. But if you're not able to capitalize on those extra possessions, then obviously you're shooting yourself in the foot. I don't see OKC doing that again, right? I don't see Indiana turn over the ball 20 times. Let me say that. But I do think OKC's defense is good enough to get, double-digit turnovers against Indiana Pacers again. But this time resulted in points, right? Chet Holmgren, get on the block a little bit, bro. Like, find your rhythm. Because Shea's going to need you. Obviously, we know Shea's going to get his bucket regardless who's guarding him, who's out there, what time of the game it is, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter.
Right.
I'm going to put the ball in the basket. You guys got to come check me, right?
No doubt.
But every Batman needs a Robin. Every Batman needs a Robin. No one player is great enough to win a championship by himself. There's 5 players on that court for a reason.
Dream in 94. Just saying.
Dream in 94. Who was his point guard?
Kenny Smith and Sam Cassell.
Got it. Never mind. We had
no all-stars on that team, no Hall of Famers. Largest disparity between leading scorer and second leading scorer in history. I could go down the line.
But those are great players. Sam Cassell's great, right? It's Kenny the Jet Smith. The man name's the Jet. The man was flashy.
But what I mean in terms of, what I'm saying, like he didn't have like a second fiddle. It was him. He did everything through that playoff.
He had a Robin and a Catwoman. And I say Nightwing. It's all dudes. Nightwing. He had a Robin and a Nightwing, right?
I don't think he had a Robin though. Dream didn't have a Robin in 94. His Robin came in 95.
Okay, he had Nightwing and give me somebody else.
All right, we're not gonna turn this into a dream thing.
Anyway, my point.
We could come forward. Jokic a couple years ago, right? Jokic when he won.
Jamal Murray.
Yeah, but Jamal Murray's never been an all-star.
But Jamal Murray's big time.
He can play on an all-star level. I get it.
Yeah,
but when the playoffs happen, that's a great one, Woodage. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm not putting Jokic on that. Jamal Murray is nice.
Okay.
Jamal Murray is he doesn't have an all-star because the West has been loaded with guards. That's the only reason he's not an all-star team.
Yeah.
No, he's super loaded. Steph is always going to get a spot. And so I'm already behind the 8 ball. You know what I mean? So no, I'm not going to say that because Jamal Murray in the playoffs is super big time. Super, super big time.
Right.
Who should know? My Lakers should know that.
right.
He closes the doors ASAP every time. Pisses me off. But yeah, man. Chat, man, what do you guys think? Game 2, NBA Finals.
Yeah.
What needs to happen for OKC, or better yet, what needs to happen for Indiana to go up 2-0?
Great question. And if Indiana goes up 2-0, is it over for OKC? Will they be shell-shocked? They haven't seen that yet this playoff run.
They haven't.
Big time.
When's the last time they lost back-to-back games? That's probably a great question.
Yeah, right. They've won 80 games total this season, so that is a great question. I have no idea.
Yeah, that'll be a good question, man. Houston team had rivalry. Yes, they did.
Yeah, but he was in his second year in the league. He was beginning to make big shots, but again, anyway. I'm not going to turn this into an Elijah thing. I can do this, Elijah. You all know that. I can do
your dream.
I can do that.
He sees them in his sleep, guys. Pause.
Whoa. I do not.
Hakeem, your dream. What do you dream when you're awake or you dream when you sleep?
I didn't give him the name The Dream. No, I didn't do that.
Yes, you did. I thought you talked to him back then. He was like, man,
I wish I talked to him. That's my favorite player ever.
Hakeem The Dream, bro.
Sneed said he met him before.
Steve met Dream?
No, Sneed said he met him.
Sneed did. That's awesome. That's dope.
That's dope, man.
That's dope. But yeah, man, any final thoughts on the finals?
No, I don't. But I would love to hear some thoughts from some of the viewers.
Absolutely, man. The chat is now open. The phone lines are now open.
That's
Call
correct.
in, man. Let us know your thoughts. 904-219-8264. I can't say it like Bruce. 904.
Here we go.
219-8264. Tune in. 97.1. Home of your rhythm and R&B.
Oh man.
If you're ready for a smooth night, you and the lady, go ahead and light that candle, pop that champagne, close the doors, turn the lights off. Wait, what?
You're doing a lot. Format Podcast. Who's this?
It's Sneed, bro. What's up?
Sneed, what's up, man? I'm starting to think you're a spy, bro. I swear. He always calling from a different number.
Sneed, what number am I calling you? I don't even know which one I'm on right now.
This is from Pennsylvania now.
That's crazy that he don't even know.
I don't even know right now, bro.
This is 412 something. I'm like, okay. I'll have to save this one too. What's up, Sneed? What you got, man?
All right. Kind of towards like the tail end of the conversation with you and Transformer, the Thunder being shell shocked, probably not. That's probably not a thing. They lost game one to the Nuggets. They weren't supposed to lose that one. They were heavily favored.
Right.
The Nuggets were coming off a 7-game series with the Clippers. So everybody thought they're tired, they're beat up, they're going to be easy to beat, and then they won.
Was that Aaron Gordon's last second dunk? Was that one?
Oh, I don't know if it was that one, but
game one.
Was that game one?
Okay.
I'm not sure, but they were in that game. They won the game. They came back in that game actually, and everybody was saying, "Oh man, these Thunders they're frauds. They're inexperienced. They're not tried and tested." And then they bounce back and win game two, decidedly, like blowout.
Blew them out. Yeah,
right.
I think it was about 30.
And I'm not going to predict that the Thunder are going to blow out the Pacers. In fact, they probably won't. I think the Pacers, just the mindset's too tough. They're always in the game. Like I don't know. Maybe they got blown out once or twice in this run by like 20 or something. That happens in today's NBA. It's kind of crazy. I don't really remember these kind of blowouts all that often in the past, but these playoffs seem to have some blowouts in them. It's almost like the teams mail it in and then they're just like getting ready for the next game. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Pacers are trying to win every game, every moment of the game. I don't think they're mailing anything in. But I do expect the Pacers to put up a good fight, but I still think the Thunder are going to win game two. I think the urgency is there. I think Daigneault has learned he needs to get the ball out of Halliburton's hand no matter what happens at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what there's no way you brought in all those defensive subs at the end, right? He brought in, so he had Lou Dort, he had Alex Caruso, and he had Cason Wallace. Cason Wallace ends up being on Halliburton at the end for that game-winning shot. How do you not blitz that? How do you not force the ball out? Can I have anyone else take that three?
Anybody.
Anyone else.
Right.
Anyone. And then because here's what you remember when Dame Lillard hit that shot over Paul George?
Yes.
In Portland.
Yes.
Yep.
And
from like 35 feet.
You let him walk it up and set up. Like, what are you doing?
Well, no, like Paul George was about 5 feet away from him. but they were about 30-some feet from the rim. And he still took it and make it. And Paul George was talking after the game. He's like, I don't care what anybody says. That was a bad shot.
It was a bad shot.
It is a bad shot. But it doesn't change the fact that that guy will take it and make it. Right? So Halliburton will take it and make it. And you just got to blitz. Like, you just have to pressure the ball. You got to, like, literally be like the dude's clothes. On like grabbing his jersey. I mean, you obviously don't want to foul, but you can't let him shoot. He makes it. This is 4 times in 4 series. This guy is doing the unthinkable. So that you can't leave it to chance.
No, you cannot.
So I'm, first of all, I think that's got to be Lou Dort. I know Case Wallace is a good defender. It's got to be Lou Dort. You got to make that happen in transition. But, you know, shout out to the Pacers and Rick Carlisle for not calling the timeout, not letting the defense set. Because if you think about it, bro, look at the first half. It was all half court sets, and the Pacers had a hard time scoring. They're like, no, we're going to do this in transition. We're going to get the last shot off. Bro, the last few minutes was just chock full of the Pacers willing themselves to a victory and the Thunder running out of offense. Like, they had nothing. You know, we spoke to it on the game broadcast. We were talking about why did SGA give up the ball to Jalen Williams? He was cold. It was the offensive execution that failed them, maybe the rebounding, but the starting lineup wasn't the issue. They're up by 12 at halftime. They're up by 9 after 1. They're up 9 after 3.
Yeah.
The only thing you're looking at if you're the Thunder is the fourth quarter. I get there were 24 turnovers to score off of, but it didn't matter because you were up double digits. So it really didn't matter. It was the ending execution. Daigneault has responded, though, in the playoffs, though. I will give him the credit. When they've had mistakes, he has corrected them, and he's won the series that they've been in. So I'm not going to all of a sudden be out, like you said, Thunder in 6 still. That's possible. But I do think, like, the Pacers, the way they find ways to win, I can't pretend like these guys can't win this finals. I know the defense of the Thunder is amazing, but the Pacers defense is pretty damn amazing too. Yeah.
So to that point, Sneed, I think the biggest thing is if you are going to, if you're going to beat the Pacers, it's one of those situations you got to blow them out early. You got to go up by 20, 25, like a lot. You got to run them out of the gym because that's the only, because clearly if they can just stay within reach, they believe, to your point, they believe that they can come back and win any game if they just stay in reach. So, I definitely think Transformer. I think
keep it buck.
I got you, man. No, I think they definitely need to make sure that they if they want to win this game like that, they got to get out. They got to get out early.
Yeah.
And Transformer's point about what's his name? Obi Toppin doing it again. Yeah, the chances are you're probably not going to get it, but guess what, Transformer? It could be Mathurin this next game. You know what I'm saying? It could be some other guy. It could be Shepard. He's done that in the playoffs, these random threes. Like, that's the thing about the Pacers. It's dangerous.
Yeah. I believe Mathurin did it against the Knicks. That fourth quarter, he got hot, and it was just like back-to-back bombs. It's like, yo, what's happening?
Yeah.
So they don't need anybody. A certain guy. It could be any guy. Exactly.
No doubt.
You guys got another caller waiting. I don't mean to hold up the line. I'll let you guys go ahead and take the next call. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, Sneed. Appreciate it, brother.
Hey, man, Sneed, BA's out there, brother.
All right.
I got to save all these phone numbers.
Steve, line number 1. Steve, line number 2. Steve, line number 3. Steve, line number 4. I promise, man, if you guys go and watch his media network page, very intellectual when it comes to technology, cell phones, like he's talking about Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile. He's very, very on it. So him having 1,800 phone numbers is just, they're probably all the different carriers.
Right. For real.
Probably all.
He's got to test them all.
He's testing them all. He has 5 routers in his house. There's 4 satomites at his house. Sneed is really testing out the equipment.
I thought I was a tech guy. Nah, Sneed puts me to shame, man.
Sneed got you beat by times 30.
By a mile. All right. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get any more calls on this topic. So let's go ahead and let's move to the next one. This is one that's interesting, right? Because as we know, when it comes to the NBA, one of the biggest things is the offseason. We love to see the player movement. I guess we love that in all sports, but especially in the NBA, because in basketball, one move can be, one move can be huge in terms of making a difference and turning a team into a champion. So go ahead, transform.
All right. So
I thought I took that down. My bad.
Okay, now you're good. All right. So obviously you see on the thumbnail here, you see Kevin Durant. Feel like everybody's name should rhyme. Zion Williamson and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yes.
Obviously, there's been trade rumors floating around the airwaves, but a new one that popped up is Ja Morant going to Miami, being traded to Miami under Pat Riley's tutelage of leadership in the front office. Obviously, Ja Morant's career in Memphis is not looking too great. Either he's A, injured, or B, in trouble. So it's obviously not going well. And obviously, per last season, the biggest thing about Ja Morant that we all know about is the back and forth between him and the NBA front office when it comes to his celebration of utilizing the gun celebration. Obviously, he changed that to the grenade now celebration, still a weapon to be used at, it cause bodily harm or death in wartime and stuff like that. Right. So obviously the right mentorship isn't happening for him in Memphis. So talks to him going to Miami is in the mist. Bruce, what do you think of the possibility of Ja Morant going to Miami?
So this is interesting, right? My first thought is that's crazy, right? I don't think Pat Riley meshes well with the younger star players, right? Their mentality is totally different. Pat Riley is a my way or the highway guy, which I personally like, right? I like that a lot. I believe that, in life, there's an order to things. And Pat Riley he's the freaking president of the Heat, right? So you listen to what he says or you get the hell on. That's simple. Yeah. But
he took bronze cookies, so he don't care.
So in the modern generation, in the modern generation, these athletes, these kids on the whole, they're built differently, right? Not built differently, but their mentality is different. They don't necessarily respect someone because they're in a particular position, understanding that, okay, this is the boss. He's not telling me to do anything immoral or illegal. I got to do what he says. These guys are, if I don't like it, I'm a whine and I'm a not, whatever. I don't know if Ja Morant is the type of guy. Obviously, I don't know him personally, but I don't know if he's the type of guy that's going to be able to deal with that type of tough, boot camp type environment. Everybody speaks to the environment in Miami. Now, that said, the flip side could be exactly what Ja needs, right? He needs that reset and he needs that kind of tough love and he needs that super structured environment for him to be able to maximize his ability and the type of star that he could be on this level. And also, in fairness, Miami needs that as well, right? Miami needs it. Yeah, they need that. They're always going to be competitive, maybe playing or first round out, but they need a star. They need somebody to help get them, to that next position. And trying to get a Ja Morant, that could work. Edward has a great question. He says, who are they giving up for him? And I guess Tyler Hero would have to be part of that, right?
Tyler Hero and some picks.
Yeah, because
Bam Adebayo, you don't put him with Triple J.
Right. I was about to say, I'm not a Bam guy. I think he's overrated. However, he works very well in that system with Miami. And if you have a Bam and a Ja, that could be an easy 1-4 pick and roll type situation, right?
Yeah.
Bam, he can hit the mid-range. He's a lob threat. Also, he can defend because Ja doesn't really appear to have any interest in doing that. So
too small. He's too small.
I guess we could say that, but anyway, he doesn't seem to have any interest in defending. So if, Bam could be there to help out if he's getting beat. So I think that anything with Ja Morant, Tyler Hero has to be a part of that. And as you said, Correct. Some picks or maybe some, but I don't know. I'm torn. I just gave both sides on, why that would work and why that wouldn't work. I think I lean more towards it wouldn't work. I don't know. I don't get a good feeling from Ja.
Yeah. I think going from Memphis to Miami, think about it.
Didn't think about that.
From Memphis to Miami.
Yeah. Very different.
Very different, right?
Yeah.
However, the one thing that works for Miami, again, front office down to the coaching level. Eric Spoelstra is one hell of a coach.
Yeah.
One hell of a coach. Great with X's and O's. Great with his players. Getting his team together, always somehow is in a fight in the playoffs. Somehow, always in the playoffs or in a fight with the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that's going for him. That he's going to have the mentorship from the coaching perspective and from Pat Riley to kind of, wing it in. Like we don't need this mess, or this is how we're going to act as professionals. This is the way you need to conduct ourselves. Yada yada yada. The bad. It's Miami. It's Miami. I'm going to Miami. Welcome to
Bienvenidos a Miami.
Miami. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm going from Memphis to Miami. I'm from Memphis.
In Miami.
And I've spent a lot of time in Miami, right? You lived in Key West, Florida, right up the street. So I've spent some time in Miami. It's different. John Morant could go even crazier. He probably goes from a thug to a Zion Williamson in Miami. Who knows? He goes from a wannabe thug.
Why you said to a Zion though? That's why you
Zion. We're gonna get to Zion in a minute.
Get to Zion, but you ain't had to say that. That's cold.
It's a little crazy. It's a little crazy, but oh man, that's the one bad thing. It's like Miami though, like maybe Boston or something like that. Like get him somewhere else to where the city's not as
where he could focus on basketball. Let's say
he could focus on basketball, right? Miami, it's a lot to take your eyes off the prize, man. In Miami, but like I said, he would have Eric Spoelstra. You got Pat Riley and that staff, that front office from top down. Like I said, from top down, they keep everything in house. They keep everything steady. As far as the players, you don't hear much about any nonsense other than the Jimmy Butler thing, but that was more of a money issue that just Jimmy Butler made spiral out of control. But other than that, man, it should be good for him. I think him and Zion Williamson, and I'm gonna get to this point and we can move on to Zion Williamson now. These two players need a change of scenery. Zion in New Orleans obviously is just not working out. Came in the NBA, obviously had the injury problem, but then it became a weight problem. Now it's not a weight problem. He drops weight. Now it's a a female worker problem. That's now spiraling into a assault problem and other
alleged
issues.
Assault problem.
Alleged assault problem.
Yes.
Correct. Alleged assault problem again with a female worker. What are you doing? like what are you doing in New Orleans? Obviously, these two are not focused on basketball, right? You need to get them to teams with leadership to kind of help hone them in. Some key veterans on the bench, like Udonis Haslem. I forget that's another key thing in Miami. Udonis Haslem, he could definitely steady the ship when it comes to John Morant. Very, very great mentor, stern body on your bench.
OG,
the OG, the king of Miami, right? He could hone in John Morant. So I think another key reason why that could work for Miami, and that could work for Ja as well. But Zion and New Orleans, it's just not ending well. You're paying them all this money for what? 35 games a season? That's what I'm paying for. Right? That's typically what I'm paying for. So obviously he's on the trade block. Where do you see Zion Williamson, if at all, seeing him being a great fit?
So I just thought about this, right? I thought about this earlier when we were kind of talking about the topics and stuff. I would say if Milwaukee loses out on Giannis, the best thing you can do is get Zion up there. Because you're taking him out of, I've never been to Milwaukee, but you don't hear Milwaukee talked about as a great food city, right?
No.
Then again, they got cheese. I was about to say they got a lot of cheese. But I mean, it's not New Orleans in terms of eating, right? And there's not a lot to do like there is in New Orleans, in Milwaukee, right? Not as much, I should say. So maybe that would be the environment that Zion needs to be in order to just focus on getting in the gym, getting back to being what a lot of people thought he could be. And I think that's the thing. Now, are you going to have the same level of success on the court? I doubt it, because Zion doesn't defend. We know Giannis does. And Zion doesn't particularly like to rebound for his size. We know Giannis does. But maybe maybe to change the scenery, that reset, and getting him out of a quote unquote troubled environment and get him into a spot where he can be effective. So I'm saying if Giannis goes, which we're not sure he will, we don't know what he wants to do. There are conflicting reports, but if Giannis goes, then you're Milwaukee, you try to make the move for Zion. That's what you do, because it'll also put butts in the seats.
Yeah.
Because when he's on the floor, he's super exciting.
No, absolutely. My answer was going to be anywhere that doesn't have food. Anywhere.
When you're rich, you can have food anywhere you are, but I get it. It's not New Orleans. It's not that type of place.
Exactly. Anywhere where they're not known. Let me better yet say that. Any place that's not known for their food. Any place, I'm fine with it. Pick it. Cool. Okay. Well, it can't be OKC. Even though that would be a nasty little combination. But get him to Toronto, right? Get him to Toronto, maybe. I like your choice in Milwaukee. You get him to some place where he could, again, like Ja Morant, have a reset button. All right. These players obviously need a reset button because what they got going on where they got drafted is just obviously not working. And to savor their careers or to savor their longevity in the game, at least try them out in different areas. If I'm New Orleans, if somebody call and say, hey, I give you 2 first-round picks or a first-round pick, this or that, I'm pressing that button. Yep. Send it. Send it. I'm done. I'm done. New Orleans should be tired of this by now. What was Zion drafted? He's 5 years in the league now.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's yet to play a full season, either due to
he has played 70+ games though. He has done that.
He has played 70+ games in the season.
Yes, once or twice he has.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good. That's good. But other than that, I mean, he's either hurt or now his name isn't being spoken about in a positive light, right? So
yeah, you got
in that
too
case,
much
you start
going on, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is just frustrating, man. Anyway, go ahead.
I mean, this just goes back to the one of my partners was talking about this earlier. These young dudes, man. When you're such a star at such a young age, and you got money at such a young age, the flock of females that fly at you, you don't got to work for them. You don't need game. You just got money. That's it. You know, I mean, even Gucci Man in his ugly days could get a chick because he got the money. I got the bread, right? Like I got the money. So now these guys, they get drafted in the league and they get these $100 million contracts and they see these models and they seeing these female workers that do video, right? That record and put them on DVDs and websites and stuff. Not gonna say the actual name, but you know what I'm saying, right? They see these females and they like, oh man, I always want to do that. Relax, young fellas. That's why we need more mentors in the NBA.
Everybody else want to do that too.
Yeah, we all do. Like, we all do at some point of fashion, bro. You got to understand that you're a professional. The cameras are always on you, and you're a target for these females. Obviously, Zion seeing that firsthand, right? One of the female workers, snapped on him about, having a baby mother by one of the other female workers. Now there is an accusation of assault from another female worker. Obviously, what's the common denominator? Female workers.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You can leave them alone. You know what I mean? It's not
right.
Bro, you can go out and leave them alone. But like I said, man, these guys do need to change the scenery, bro. They really do. But moving on, we got 2 other names on this list. 2 of them you spoke about on the other show. You did a great job of speaking on that. But obviously, Kevin Durant, it's looking more than likely. It is viewed as a certainty, according to the NBA insider Jack Fisher, as a foregone conclusion that KD will be traded this offseason. So I know we had conversations about Minnesota. I think that's what your choice was for Kevin Durant.
That's where I would like to see him. Yeah.
Anthony Edwards. But the major talk is about him going to New York. There were reports that prior to the trade deadline last season, New York was heavily trying to get KD traded to New York City. Now that They've just lost in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Indiana Pacers.
Mhm.
Do you see New York City revisiting this conversation and making the move to get Kevin Durant?
Yeah, I do. I mean, if anytime you have an opportunity to, you're in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? You have an opportunity to get a nuclear weapon like that. And then also, I think what probably lends even more so to that is they don't know who their next head coach is going to be. By the way, Jay Wright turned them down.
Yeah, he turned him down. Yeah.
Right. So they don't know who the next head coach is going to be. So you, with a guy like Kevin Durant, it doesn't matter who the head coach is. Like you said, and like we all know, he can fit in anywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a walking nuclear weapon, and he is a perfect fit in any system. So that is a plus. And also, I would think that's a plus in terms of luring a head coach, right? Because, you got Brunson, you got guys who will defend, and then you got KD. Like, a lot of coaches be like, maybe I wouldn't have done this before, but right. All of a sudden, that looks a lot different now. So, yeah, I think if you're the Knicks, you absolutely revisit this again. To me, Giannis would be the guy for me, but can't go wrong. KD is a great one too. You know, so
I mean, obviously, the biggest domino to fall is going to be Giannis, as you just spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
With Kevin Durant going to New York, where is the likelihood of Giannis going?
Okay, so Giannis, I think, is on record saying that he likes Florida cities. So,
Miami.
Could be an option. If you're Miami, like if you got to lose,
now you
Bam,
can trade that Bam Adebayo.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So
Sid Bubba, no. that only way that happens if LeBron leaves. That will be above that second apron.
God.
I'm talking, we'll be so far past the second apron. It'll just
y'all want everybody.
Genie not paying that money.
Oh my gosh.
Genie is not paying that money.
Man, how about you just rebuild your team, man? Just rebuild your team and go play ball. Damn, y'all want everybody. What's wrong with y'all?
Bruce, what year was you born?
I was born in 1978, Transformer.
Okay, so since 1978, the Lakers have always done this. So calm the hell down, all right? We don't build.
I know, man. You think I like it?
You think I like it? No,
I don't like it.
We don't build what? We leave that building for the construction workers. They got that job. They build it. We over here. Hey, you got a star? It's mine now. Bring them on over here.
For real, Debo. My star. No doubt.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, best fits. Oh man, that's
I think Miami,
State,
the Knicks and Miami, but Golden State again. We know that what's his name, Lacob is not trying to be under that apron, right? So Steph is getting his money. They just gave Jimmy Butler money. Giannis, if you get Giannis, he's making money, and then you're gonna have to pay him again in what, 2 years?
Yeah.
I don't know if Lacob is going to try to be under that apron, man. That thing is oppressive.
Yeah, I think over the last 5 years, Golden State has spent $500 million in taxes for being over the apron. That's how much they've been paying in luxury tax. $500 million. I can't even spell $500 million. I used to HAVE a billion bill B. BEL. $500 million in the last 5 years have been spent in tax dollars. So and you made a solid point. Jimmy Butler just got there, so obviously, and I think he's getting a hefty check next year.
Yeah.
Like 60, it's like 60 mil or something like that.
They compensated him nicely.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous.
Giannis.
Ooh, man.
San Antonio.
San Antonio would be nice, but then you got to trade something to get him. Who do you trade?
You put together a package with Stephon Castle.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, you do. If you could put Giannis, Wemby, and De'Aaron Fox,
that would be dangerous. De'Aaron Fox ain't got to play defense now. He got
that's right.
Best defensive rankings.
Thank you. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that'll be tough.
That would be real tough.
That would be tough, and they will skyrocket as definitely one of the favorites. Definitely one of the favorites. Oh my God, that's tough.
Mhm.
Do you think
Yeah.
do you think Dallas will want to be in the mix?
Dallas is not trading because any deal that Dallas gets into, you know, the other team's going to want the number one pick to get Cooper Flag, and they already said that's just not happening.
Do you think they got anything else they can trade?
Nah. Oh, and by the way, now hearing rumors Jason Kidd might be headed to the Knicks.
I heard that he's being denied they're being denied the interview.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't catch that. Thank you. I didn't catch that. Okay. They're like, nope.
Yeah,
by the way, Jimmy Butler is going to make 55 mil. Well, 54.1 mil this coming season, and then almost 57 mil the following year. So that's a lot of dough.
A lot of dough. And he's 36?
Yeah,
36?
yeah. He's 36. Yeah. 36. So you giving him all this. That's why I'm like, I don't think Giannis can get there. I don't.
Oh my God. Mavs expected to turn down Knicks' potential interview requests with Jason Kidd. Yeah. So it hasn't been turned. It's expected to be turned down. So I read that wrong a little bit.
Yeah. You know what, Bruce? I don't know if you were on the show when I said that Sam Cassell should be getting an interview for that Knicks job, because
I don't think so.
I think so. I think he would be great for Jalen Brunson. He's a champion as a player. He's a point guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's not going to listen if you're a point guard with championship aspirations to Sam Cassell?
Because he's not a champion.
He is a champion.
As a coach. As a coach. No. I'm sorry. My bad. My correction. I'm staying corrected. As a coach. Right now, if I'm New York, my biggest target is Mike Malone.
Yeah. Well, Sam Cassell's a champion. He's a champion as an assistant coach.
But a head coach.
Right.
You got to think, New York City wants to get to the big place. They like,
yes.
We want somebody, and then you got to appease these fans, right? These fans want to see, like, they want to know that they're confident in the choice. Again. Like, we're right here at the champion. Like,
yeah,
we're at the championship.
And Mike Malone is from Queens. That doesn't hurt either.
Right. He's from Queens. He's a champion as a coach. As a coach, I'm not doubting Sam Cassell's ability to coach. Right. But I'm just saying, from where the Knicks now, if the Knicks got bounced in the second or first round, Sam Cassell, get him as a coach. But when you're 2 games away from the NBA Finals, you want somebody with a little bit more notoriety of being there as your coach, right? And I think Mike Malone is the better fit for the Knicks. Absolutely. I wouldn't want Giannis. He won't take anything but a supermax.
Pause. But soft on D.
What? Giannis? No.
Yeah, I don't get that.
He's not clutch. He dropped a 50 burger to win the final. Okay.
Right.
Then really disappears and he dropped a 50 burger to win the final. Okay. And he doesn't play well enough off the ball. He dropped a 50 burger to win the finals. And
he was number 3 in the MVP voting this year. I mean, what does he have? Like 5 top 3 MVP finishes? Like,
Jared.
That's interesting.
He dropped a 50 burger to send not the Knicks, Phoenix home.
Entitlement causes big problems for whatever team he's at. Well, Giannis has only been on one team, man.
You must be talking about LeBron. Because he
said Giannis. Okay. So no, but Bruce, what I think, I don't want to speak for Transformer, but what I think he's saying in terms of the Knicks front office and the Knicks fan base, again, Mike Malone is a New York City guy, born and bred. And I think at some point I know his pops used to be on the Knicks staff, right? Mm-hmm. So he knows that building, he knows that organization, right? He knows all that. And then on top of that, he is a champion as a head coach, right? So the Knicks are now in a position by being 2 games or 1 game from the NBA Finals. They're saying, okay, we need a guy who can take us there. And that's not to say that Sam Cassell may not be able to take you there, but the experience isn't there, right? You have proof of concept in Mike Malone. That's no disrespect to Sam Cassell, because as we said, he's got a ring as a coach on a coaching staff. He's got 3 rings as a player. So we know what Sam Cassell is about. Also, he was a very good, bordering on elite at times, point guard. So this is no shade on Sam Cassell. But if you're an organization and you're thinking about your fan base and you're thinking about trying to win and you're excited just coming off the deepest playoff run in a quarter century, you're saying, yo, if we have the opportunity, we got to go with somebody with proof of concept, right? That's also why they were looking at Jay Wright, because while it was college, he's a 2-time champion, right? And on top of that, this is a guy who coached Jalen Brunson and all these Villanova guys already. So there's a familiarity there. So I get it. And again, nobody's saying Sam Cassell does not deserve the opportunity, Bruce. So don't be butthurt. Nobody's saying
does he need to be a coach in the league? Absolutely. He deserves to be a coach. But for New York, where they're trying to get to please, New York has the hardest media base in the world. It's the hardest media to like. The fans are some of the hardest fans to get through.
Right.
Sam Cassell walks in that door, confidence drops. I guarantee you it. Guarantee you. The first thing they're gonna be like, what has he won?
Right. And that's
this is his first head coach job. We're trying to get there.
No shade on Sam I am. Nobody's shading that dude.
Nobody's shading that.
So Sid Bubba, Chief, the reason Mike Malone got fired, him and the GM apparently were going at it for over a year. So they got rid of both of them. So that's what that's about.
It started when they won the championship. When they won the championship, apparently Mike Malone got a little too tipsy and was saying certain things.
Yeah, he was talking.
Apparently something must have happened with him in the front office at that parade or poster parade, and it just went,
Bruce. But here's the thing, man. You gotta put the Baltimore bias to the side for a minute, man. We just we showing Sam Cassell all the love he deserves, but you got to hear what we're saying.
He just hears Baltimore.
Yeah. Okay, we're haters. All right, but anyway,
it's okay.
You guys don't get it. New York needs to hire whoever LeBron's podcast buddy is. Steve Nash.
Steve Nash already had a job in New York, and he fumbled that ASAP.
And that did not go well.
Fumbled that ASAP.
Right. Well, he didn't fumble it. They didn't. Oh
yeah, anyway. We don't need a coach. That's what he had. We don't need a coach.
Right.
Era. Him and KD and Kyrie.
Which was weird though, because I'm pretty sure KD wanted him there because Steve Nash was an assistant when KD was in Golden State winning chips. So like, I don't really know what's the deal with all that. All right, but anyway, you want to take a couple calls on this Transformer?
Yeah, man. Yeah, let's take a couple calls, man.
All right, let's do it. Let's take a couple calls on this, and you guys give your thoughts on these player moves, where you think some of these guys should or will end up. Let's hear it. He's trying to push my buttons. I'm not gonna let him do it. Pause. I'm not gonna let him do it. Let's see. Twizzler, that was before LeBron's podcast co-host. You don't get it. Nah, I guess we don't get it. But y'all know the number, 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. Let's go. Chief. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning, Bruce.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome.
Good morning there, shipmate.
How you doing, shipmate?
I'm doing pretty awesome.
Outstanding, Chief.
But I think Giannis.
Yes.
And my guy from New Zealand, the big hunting guy, gonna try to go to the Lakers. I think the Lakers are gonna try to get Steven Adams, and I think they're gonna try to get Giannis to get to LA. Now,
both
will LeBron take less money? Listen to me now, shipmate. I think LeBron could take less money. He's a billionaire. He can take less money, and they can get up under the cap.
But will he?
I thought he said he's never playing for less than the max ever again. I thought he said that.
Well, he took a pay cut last year.
He took a pay cut to free up the money for Bronny, not to make the team better.
Well, wait a minute now.
He did.
Yes, go ahead,
he used to say, I would use your word, Bruce. That would be kind of disingenuous if he's trying to buy that fifth tip. He's trying to buy that. Hey, he can buy a ring. He can go ahead. This was perfect for the GOAT debate.
Perfect.
He can go ahead and take less money, kind of coast, go out through the playoffs, get 5 rings, and get Finals MVP.
That would be a blessing to my ears, first of all, just to hear us get Finals MVP is everything I need. I don't care anything about LeBron's legacy or what it does for him, long as I'm the one going to LA with my Lakers jersey on, saying, Boston, we coming back.
You better not.
Oh, yeah. But I think that's what the Lakers targeted for Giannis because they definitely need big.
Mm-hmm.
He's a need.
Yeah.
And you know how it goes. Jenny did Bron a favor, and he probably could do the other. They could backdoor that money some kind of way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In a situation like that, where would LeBron play though? Because Giannis is clearly the 4, and Luka's what? Is he playing the 1 or the 2? I guess he's playing the 1.
Playing the 1.5.
Okay, so we know LeBron can't play the 2. We know that. Is he going to go back to the 3?
He can go back to the 3.
Play the 2?
He go back to the 1.
Okay.
Because remember, that man was averaging 25 points and 10 assists as a point guard.
But Luka controls the ball now.
That's right.
You need Luka. The ball needs to be in Luka's hands.
That's right.
The thing how I like that would work, and I like where you're going here, Chief. That would put LeBron minutes low. It would keep LeBron's minutes low, which he needs.
Yep. Yeah,
and that's what helps.
Look, Transformer. LeBron is what we call a short time.
Mm-hmm.
He about to see the end. He about to see that 214.
Mm-hmm.
So you about to see that 214 in the light at the light at the end of the tunnel, and you get your watch and your kumbaya and everything. Man, just go ahead and go with it. Pay that money. Buy you a 5th ring.
Buy you a ring.
Buy you a ring. You a billionaire. Buy one.
18. Oh yeah, boy, that sounds good.
It does not.
But now, what is I honestly don't care. I'm not going to ask that question because it's going to turn into a LeBron show.
Well, wait a minute. Yeah. Bruce was saying, this is LeBron trying to upstart competition on his way out.
Right.
Hey, but think about it leaves us in such a good way because now we got Giannis and Luka. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
But he could take less. But in all seriousness, if he wanted to, he could take less money to fulfill the need of the Lakers. And Luke and Giannis would, fill that defensive slot that other Williams guy was going to do. But you got him and Luka.
Yeah,
him and Luka in the pick and roll. Luka, Luka's slimmer. He's more motivated. They talked about him being fat, out of shape. Mm-hmm. They body shamed him. Now you got Giannis who's in shape. Man, I think I foresee later on this summer it might be a possibility, and you throw Steven Adams as a role player and get in there. Oh, we back, baby. We back.
Boy, yeah, that's wishful thinking. I don't see it happening, but it's definitely some wishful thinking. Boy, the LeBron criticizers would hate life for that.
Oh yeah,
because that means LeBron's gonna stay for at least another 2-3 years.
Oh my gosh. He
will stay for another 2 to 3 years. He'll definitely stay. I won't see why he would leave.
I'm happy for this to be happening. All we gotta do is let Mr. Cleo, aka Bruiser, call it. Bruiser said it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
I know, right?
I call him Negro Dollars.
For real. You're right.
I scratch my head. He come up. He's a genius. So if he say it can happen, then I'm gonna book it. I'm gonna book it. Bruce say it happen.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't need that. Don't need that. Oh wow.
Oh man, I would adore that.
Yikes.
I would adore that.
Right, yeah.
All right,
I'm thinking too hard.
Yeah.
Thank you for the call, brother. Appreciate you.
Look on the internet where it says Steven Adams and LeBron no Transformer. You might Google it and find it. It might be coming to fruition.
I'm doing it right now.
All right.
All right, no doubt.
Steven Adams would be a nice pickup, though.
Yeah, I like this guy, Franklin K. Real Laker fans want LeBron gone. I would.
I'm a real Laker fan. I don't care. So you can't tell me who the hell I am. Laker fans is 96, baby. Shit.
What's up, Steve?
Hey, what do you guys think about when you talk about Michael Malone as a possibility, right? Like, I understand the championship pedigree, and that would be the bull case for Michael Malone in New York. But the bear case is the fact that you got a guy who basically caused the civil war within the it'd be like a company, right? Like this guy got a leadership position, had a problem with the upper leadership and the upper management, and it created a bunch of, a huge rift within the organization. He wins a championship. They still fire him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then look at Tibbs. This guy is 2 games away from the NBA Finals. They fire him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think what these presidents, these owners, the top end of the organizations, they need someone who can get along. They'll even let people stay around longer as long as they can get along. Mark Jackson can't get a job.
Yeah,
and he was a very
real.
competent coach,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't get along apparently.
No.
Getting along with people, this communication thing is really important.
No, it is.
They're willing to fire proven commodities because they seem to be confrontational or problematic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Gone are the days where people can coexist not liking each other. Like everybody that has the power to move on from someone, even if they're getting results from them, they'll take the lesser talent because they can get along.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to wake up and feel like they're going to be having problems and confrontations and they're going to be undermined and they're, have their toes stepped on or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm bearish on Michael Malone in New York because of that. What's his name? Leon Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Leon Rose.
Yeah, the discussion about him as the president of the Knicks is this is a decision he made moving on from Tibbs, just because. Tibbs wears on people. Tibbs is hard-nosed. Tibbs is this and that. But if you're winning, you're supposed to be validated. It's meritocracy. But he's gone. So I'm seeing a connection between the way that Tibbs is and the way that Michael Malone is. To see that Michael Malone got fired after winning and all these things, I don't think that's the coach for the Knicks. I think they're looking for someone who is more PC, easier to get along with. They're going to hire a different type of coach. If they wanted to win, Michael Malone is hands down the best guy for it because he's proven, right?
Yeah,
but go ahead, Bruce.
No, I was just gonna say, man, getting along. This is New York City, man. We saw. I guarantee you that the ownership of the Knicks was in love with the amount of money they were pulling in with all those home games in the playoffs. Like you heard that it was going to be, had they gotten to Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals, it was going to be, was it $500,000 for two courtside seats? Can you imagine how much money they made off that playoff run? And
this is a petty owner, and these are egos at play. Dog, they set security for Charles Oakley.
Yeah, that was insane.
What the hell are we doing, bro?
I don't know, man.
How is that a thing?
It shouldn't be a thing, but at the end of the day, it's still about owners. All the owners want to get bread. They all want to get the money, right? So you can't be stupid about it. But that's me.
And the Giannis piece. Giannis needs to be very careful. His decision on where he asks for a trade, because that's what it's going to boil down to. He's under contract, so he has to request a trade.
Yeah.
He has to be very, very selective and careful about where he goes, because he may go to a situation where his role will be slightly different,
mm-hmm.
or he needs to look at the roster construction of what the team is going to look like after the trade, not before the trade. How the team is constructed once they complete those roster moves. So he needs, just look at the roster that won it in Milwaukee. It was lockdown defenders. It was
a lot of 3-and-D
shooters.
Yeah.
A lot of rebound. It was like the typical way that championships are won.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to recreate that. Drew Holiday goes to Boston and they win a finals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, these are the principles of winning.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to recreate that in a way, right? You're looking for those fundamental things that championship rosters have. So I don't know, you guys were given your ideas. That is an almost impossible task to try to pick a team where Giannis should go, because it's really what the team's going to look like after the trade is done. Because it's going to take immense draft capital, and it's going to take today's talent too. Like the demands for Giannis are going to be astronomical. Not many teams are going to be willing to blow up their team potentially if it doesn't work out, because, I mean, look at the Suns. I mean, talk to me about that, Bruce.
Yeah.
What do you think the owner of the Suns is saying right now? He said, I went all in with all these guys, and it blew up in my face. I couldn't make the play-in last year. Talk to me about that, bro.
No, absolutely, because now he's saying, I got to get rid of one, maybe two if I can, of these contracts. Absolutely. These dudes do not want to pay for 3 stars anymore, and that was the goal. That's probably one of the best things Adam Silver did was readjust this freaking readjust the luxury tax with all these aprons and all that to keep 3 superstars from joining up, make it really punitive. So no, I hear you. These owners are not going to pay anymore for a product that doesn't get it done on the floor.
Yeah,
I don't think
Golden State did it because they kept winning.
Right, exactly. I don't think the market matters so much. I think there's other dynamics at play. Transformer, who did you say Giannis should go to? Did you end up giving your take on that?
No, not really. I did like the Spurs.
Really?
I like what Bruce said about the Spurs. Spurs sounds like a great team.
I don't think he can go to the Spurs because, I mean, you're going to be building that roster around Wemby. You know, that's like Giannis going to San Antonio. I mean, that changes Wemby's trajectory of his career because Giannis is still in his prime.
But how does it?
You know what I mean?
You can have 2 guys.
They've done it before.
I mean, it's gonna. I know, but it's gonna completely change whatever trajectory or thought process that team had of Wemby. At the very least, it's gonna put it on hold.
I think it catapults it, to be honest with you.
Who's better right now? Who's better right now? Giannis or Wemby?
Giannis.
That's my point. So now he kind of has to take a back seat. I swear to God, if Wemby's taking 26-foot threes, you think Giannis gonna be happy about that?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why it can work because Giannis can still get downhill, right? It's not like Wemby's in the post, attracting a lot of defensive attention there. Giannis can still get downhill. So, like, Wemby, they can. I don't want to. It can be it could be a low budget Dream and Ralph Sampson type thing. You know what I mean? I think that can work.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a tough call. I'm with you guys. I don't really know where he goes. I don't know where he asked to go, but I mean, it's going to take several first-round picks. It's going to take talent today.
It's going to take a lot.
Guys that could start today. And you saw what happened when Melo demanded to go to New York. He completely disabled the Knicks roster. Everybody ended up getting shipped to Denver, and he could have left in February after the trade deadline was in February. They traded him, and there was nothing left. The cupboard was bare. He never won anything.
Right.
So they have to be very careful about timing and what it takes to trade him. But thanks for taking my call, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, no doubt.
Absolutely, man.
I appreciate you.
All right. So my bad. Before we move on, man, I wanted to give a shout out to the new members in the chat, man. If you're new to the channel, we thank you guys for watching us, listening us. If you like what you're listening to, you like seeing the green that me and Bruce decided to wear. We planned this. No, we did not.
We did not.
If you like seeing it, man, please subscribe to the channel, share, like, and go Irish if you care. But I don't think you will. That's what you. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. Put it in the comments, man. Let us know what you think. Where do you see Ja going? Where do you see KD going? Where do you see Zion going? Where do you see Giannis going? And did we miss anybody? Bruce, do not say Austin Reeves. Don't care. But do you see not you, but Bruce, but Baltimore Bruce?
Okay. I was like,
man, we gonna say nothing about Austin Reeves. Right. But no, man, if you guys think of any other big trades, man, let us know. I'm not converting. I'm just happy that we got one of your boys, Steve. Calm down. But moving on, we're going to move on here to the next topic, 1-on-1 in the NBA. So we've had a similar conversation about this before when it comes to great one-on-one players, but we're referring to a certain someone. Now we're pivoting to more of the overall concept of one-on-one basketball. I'm mad that you don't have Michael Beasley on that thumbnail. That's kind of crazy.
But he was on the main thumbnail.
He's on the main thumbnail. Okay. Yeah. But one-on-one basketball play. Me and Bruce decided to have this conversation because obviously Tracy McGrady and another different league are starting a league about one-on-one, but pretty much primarily one-on-one basketball. And my question to the chat and my question to Bruce.
Yes.
One-on-one basketball players. Obviously, we see Michael Beasley. We know about ISO Joe. We know other greats. And I'm not talking major stars like the ones that we got on this thumbnail here. Guys like Jamal Crawford, guys like Lance Stevenson, and those, Tino Mobley. those great one-on-one, like if it's strictly one-on-one basketball, they're purely dominant at being a great one-on-one player. And I say this, Michael Beasley adds, people witnessed it, and you can witness it in this game. Michael Beasley's known for busting LeBron's ass in a one-on-one in practice, right? Because he's a great one-on-one player.
That's
and
correct.
One-on-one basketball player. How does that translate to the NBA, Bruce, in your opinion?
So this is so interesting, right? Because we've all, hooped in many places. Those of us who've been in the military hooped in a whole lot of places, right? I've hooped on the other side of this planet.
A lot of countries,
right?
yeah.
Right. Not that I'm a superstar, so not saying that, of course. But, the point is I've hooped with a lot of people in a lot of places, right? So anyway, I think that I say that to say there's a lot of dudes that we have played against, that we like, yo, this cat is nice, right? But that person may not be able to play in an organized system, whether it's high-level college ball or whether it's semi-pro or the NBA, right? Because to an extent, you need to be able to fit in, right? So then the thought is, now you start wondering, well, how important really is one-on-one, at that NBA level, And I'm thinking, even though there's a lot of great one-on-one players who can't play on that level, one-on-one skill set is still super, super important, right? Because when it gets down to it, all the outstanding teams, and we're going to take bigs out of it, right? Because a lot of times bigs need someone to get them the ball. But when we talk about, our wing players and when we talk about our guards, so often those are the guys that when you need to, they got to be able to get you a bucket, right? Your Halliburtons, your SGAs, if we're talking the modern game, your Jalen Brunsons, your Cade Cunninghams, all these type of guys, right? I'm sure there's tons I'm forgetting, no disrespect, but those are the ones that just came off the top of my head. So you do need the one-on-one skill set. And then we go back on a historical level, right? As you can see just from the thumbnail we did, those are some of the greatest one-on-one players we've ever seen, right? And when we talk about it, you're talking about some of the Allen Iverson, easily one of the greatest one-on-one players ever, right? I can't imagine him losing a game of one-on-one to anyone of comparable size. Then we talk about Melo, right? One of the greatest buckets of all time in terms of one-on-one skill set. Then we talk about, I don't need to.
No, thou who shall not be named.
That's probably my favorite move I've ever seen him do.
Just listen, gotcha. Got him.
Whoop, whoop. Stay on the ground. Gotcha. Step through. Easy work. No, but I mean, we talk about some of the, and obviously this guy, right? You've got some of the great, and the guy who was defending him right there was a great one-on-one player as well, Grant Hill. So we talk about it, and here, one of the greatest nuclear weapons, we just talked about him last segment. You have to be able to have, that one-on-one skill set. So to answer your question, I know I've been yapping and not answering directly. I think that having the one-on-one skill set is very important, even at the NBA level, because if you want to be that guy, your teammates are going to come to you when they need a bucket, and you need that skill set to be able to get it. You know what I mean?
No. I definitely agree. I like your stance there. Sid Bubba, you kind of you jumping the gun a little bit. That was actually going to be one of my questions. So something like this
quick side note, I'm sorry. We got the best freaking chat ever, because they always get ahead of us with the points that we're gonna make, man. Shout out to the chat, man. You guys are great. Go ahead, Transform.
I looked up like he just stole my thunder a little bit. That's what I was gonna say. Because obviously Tracy McGrady is creating his own one-on-one. He created his own one-on-one league tournament. Obviously, we just saw the 100K game versus Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson, in which Michael Beasley won. So obviously it's going to get more buzz. Obviously, Ice Cube has the Big 3 league, so there's more of a 3-on-3 style of basketball play. But now we're to the one-on-one, right? Now we're talking a little bit more one-on-one. Will that be beneficial in the All-Star weekend? Yes. I think yes, because now egos play a huge part in who's the better player in the NBA. The Anthony Edwards, who wants that notoriety that, hey man, can't nobody stop me one-on-one, right? I'm a phenom one-on-one. Now you got to go and show it. SGA. And I think now SGA, it's one-on-one, probably a game to game to 5. Just you don't want to run it too long, right? And tire the fans out and fans
right.
And you got to have your time
game to 5, something like that.
Yeah,
5,
game,
7,
simple game to 5, maybe 7, and boom, best player wins. Have a little tournament, stack up the bracket.
When he's healthy,
Kyrie will win it.
Man.
Can't nobody stay in front of that dude. 1-on-1? Yeah, Kyrie. Yeah, don't nobody stay in front of that dude.
Right.
But Kevin Durant can still play it. He's still tall long enough because at this point, you can't put too much of a body on him because now it's 1-on-1. There's no help defender. Right?
None.
There's no help defender. I can drive to the basket with no problem and things like that. I think that would be some great basketball. Another addition to add on, another great idea that the All-Star Weekend could use. Obviously, the NBA didn't hear my cry out last year when I mentioned the father-son tournament, which I thought would have been beautiful. It would have been perfect because of why LeBron James and Bronny just got in the league. That is the biggest the biggest piece of news that was about the offseason, more so than the freaking number 1 pick almost. And to have something like that, to get the former legends and all their kids, the Tim Hardaway Juniors, you got Bron, you got Bronny, you got Gary Payton, cool. GP3. Like you have so many players, former players with their current players, and have them do a little father-son game where the father has to take like a jumper or something like that. But the kid got to drive to the basket.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that would have brought so many eyes to the game because now we're doing 2 things here. We're doing 2 things. We're connecting the old school to the new school.
Right.
Because now the dumb comments like Anthony Edwards won't happen.
Right.
Because now it's like, who is that? Oh, I didn't know Scottie Pippen had a son. Yeah, Scottie Pippen Jr. He plays for Memphis, right? Very, very good basketball player. Tim Hardaway Jr. Oh, Tim Hardaway is no shit. His name is Tim Hardaway Jr. Right.
And now you may have some of the younger fans say, "Man, let me go back and see if this dude."
Dang! You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Who has 2 kids that's about to come out of college now? Carlos Boozer, Ron Harper, Booster, the Booster boys. Them boys is nice. Them boys is nice. So you bring Carlos Boozer back. You bring all these veterans and staples to the game. Yeah. You bring them back into that All-Star Weekend. That father-son tournament would have been crazy. But that's not the topic. My apologies for going off topic.
Right.
NBA, hear me on that. Hear me on that. Real. You're gonna do amazing.
Maybe we should send something like send a letter to them.
Send a letter. I think that'll be dope. We'll talk about it.
We might have to discuss that. Yeah, for real. Yeah. Be like, yo, we want to cut though if y'all do that.
Oh no, I definitely put my name on it or something.
Sponsored by the Format Podcast.
The Format Father-Son Tournament. Put my name on it. Do something.
Yeah, that would be efficient.
Front row ticket. I get front row seats to the event. Give me something. I don't need a multi-million-dollar. I do want a multi-million-dollar.
For real.
But I'll take what I can get, man. Just for you guys heeding to my word. But back to the 1-on-1 tournament. The primary reason why, like I said, I think this will be beneficial. It'll complement what we're seeing, and it'll connect. I mean, not connect. It will bring the youth basketball to now have to fight for that top dog spot, because I think this 1-on-1 tournament would definitely have more validity. Validity. There you go. Sheesh, I'm tired. I think that'll add more of that to who's the best, because now we're talking about LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. We're talking about that trio being gone. Who's next? Who wants it? Right? Is it going to be John Morant? Is it going to be Zion Williamson? Is it going to be Cade Cunningham? Is it going to be Paolo Banchero? Is it going to be Anthony Edwards? Is it going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic? Who wants it? I think that 1-on-1 tournament would definitely aid to see who's the better player, like who wants that title. Because I think whoever wins it, I mean, of course, you hold the mantle. You got to come back next year and compete again, right? Just like a 3-point shootout or a dunk contest or something like that. I think that'll be crazy. I think that's a great idea. Quick side note. Now, Bruce is naming all these outstanding players from back in the day that I didn't include in my little montage. And it also made me think about, like, whether you like him or not, Paul Pierce was an outstanding 1-on-1 guy. As he mentioned, Derek Coleman was a prop. Jamal Crawford, not too many dudes going to beat Jay Cross over 1-on-1. No.
and he's going to make a lot of people look stupid. I wouldn't play that guy one-on-one because
no.
he's going to pull out all type of and one stuff and have you looking silly out here. ISO Joe, you mentioned,
ISO
that's another
Joe.
one. Yeah, anytime you get a nickname like ISO Joe, that means
Tino Mobley will have a head full of gray hair
and cook you.
Mahmoud
Abdul-Rauf, same thing.
But like,
a lot
looking
of
like Uncle Drew out there.
What? A lot of dudes can still go. So absolutely. Yeah.
You know what? If Kyrie does participate,
mm-hmm.
he needs to wear the Uncle Drew outfit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He needs to put the gray hair on.
I know, right?
Turn back into Uncle Drew because Uncle Drew giving you work. Uncle Drew giving you work. Steve Francis, absolutely. Steve Francis is another good one. T-Mac. Yeah. I mean, T-Mac was a one-on-one guy, right? Tall, long, lengthy, 6'9", just arm wingspan, crazy work. Similar to Kevin Durant. So
this is the sad, and this is not to let a certain person co-opt the topic, but this just gets back to that whole business of LeBron saying one-on-one is not real basketball, and it's like really, dude, like we get it, that's not your game, but you don't have to denigrate it and say it's not real basketball. You know what I mean?
No, it's a part of basketball, man. Everybody grew up. And no matter you in the hood, you in the suburbs, you play one-on-one.
Right.
You bored. Hey man, you want to go out and shoot some hoops? And after y'all shooting around, you're like, hey man, want to play a game to 10? Hey man, bump it, man. You ain't got nothing else to do. Check up. You know what I mean? Make it take it. Right. You know what I mean? So, we've all had that, man. But like I said, I think this will benefit the new guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kyrie can play, but I probably wouldn't put the KDs and the Stephs in there. Like,
like you said,
their limelight is
their
limelight is going to be the USA in the World Tournament. That's going to be their limelight. That's where they get their attention. But the Cade Cunninghams, the Paolo Bancheros, the Anthony Edwards, put them in that one-on-one tournament and let them fight for that next spot. Who wants it? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum versus Jaylen Brown would be a nice little one-on-one.
That'd be fire, bro.
That'd be a fire one-on-one.
You know it happens every day in practice, but now with the whole world watching, they're gonna go pause. They're gonna go even harder. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's still a hard one.
What can I say? I don't know how to describe that. Okay, those two gentlemen, those two all NBA players, will give it their utmost in the form of one-on-one competition.
Their utmost in the form of one-on-one competition.
Right. Shout out to It's Not That Serious, man. $5 super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. It's Not That Serious. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the support, man. We trying to do it, man. We trying to bring it for y'all, man.
These great topics you guys are getting, or literally me and Bruce clashing heads till 1 a.m. last night.
Brainstorming.
Just brainstorming 1 a.m.
We gotta come through for the people, man. We need these topics, bro.
What we got? I'm like, all right, we could do this, make it do this. Okay, bet.
Yeah, man. But that's what we do, man. We y'all think we just get on here and just start talking. Nah, man. We really we give the effort,
strategize this thing, man.
Yeah, to try to do the best.
We're both militant cats, structure.
Yes.
We call it the POD. I'm not sure what you guys called it in the Army. Plan of the day.
Okay,
plan of the week, what you guys called it. But yeah, we follow PODs. Everything's on a time schedule. You know,
we lay stuff out.
You got to lay stuff out. So if we just come on here and just start rambling, we do that during the live shows. Not live shows, the game watches,
the live watches.
Watching the game, the live watches. There you go. When we're just shooting the breeze, it could go. Well, I remember one episode we were talking about freaking movies.
The
top movies, which is the best Mission Impossible. Are they ever going to end? Is he ever going to get tired of doing his own stunts?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was hilarious.
We love hanging out with y'all, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. But so I think to kind of put a bow on this topic, one-on-one in the NBA, I think it is important, but it is interesting the fact that you got some guys who can really hoop all over the place and are outstanding one-on-one guys, but you can't fit them into the system. And I think that's why KD is so impressive. Like he can fit into any system, right? Like
there been many players like that.
No, because even as great as Mike and Kobe were, I think you could have fit them into any system, but not nearly as easily, right? The triangle kind of reined those in and capitalized on their incredible skill sets. But KD You could drop him anywhere, here, there, everywhere,
Yeah,
and he's still going to be able
small
to just
ball
do his
lineup.
thing.
You want to run him at the 3. You want to run him at the 4.
Right.
You know, you got a defensive team. You can plug him in there. If you got an offensive team, of course, you can throw him in there. You like he doesn't require the ball. Like his usage rate doesn't need to be high. He can catch and shoot. He can put the ball on the. He can put the ball on the ground. He can take it to the cup. He can obviously shoot from any part of the court. And then he's 7 foot, man. Like the man is just, oh God, like an athletic Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Good morning, Kareem. What's going on, brother? How are you, man? Or good afternoon. It's noon now.
So, chat, man, put some more names. You guys put some good names in the chat, man. Are there any names we are missing? Definitely think old school too. I like the older players. Rafer Alston, I think would have been a great one. Is a great one-on-one player coming from street ball mentality. You know, and one that he was a part of. But yeah, man, what are some names that we're missing as far as great one-on-one players? They don't have to be superstars because
Tim Hardaway Sr.
Tim Hardaway Sr.
Him, but he would kill one-on-one.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's Rice, another one you have a hell of a time trying to stay in front of.
Yeah. I think Glenn Rice would be another one.
Yeah, make it take it. He's just gonna be knocking down jumpers.
Yeah, like dude, you gonna stop him? Nah.
Yeah, arm extend right with a shot like Glenn Rice. Your mom's in all black and your pops in pinstripes. Shout out to journalists. Yeah, Glenn Rice, that dude, man.
Yeah,
he was a problem in his prime. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but
you know he still holds the record. I know I'm digressing. He still holds the record for most 3-pointers made in an NCAA tournament run when they won the championship in '89 with Michigan.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, he been a shooter, been a knockdown shooter. Yeah.
So I thought JJ Redick had one of them records.
He might, but in one single NCAA tournament run, Glenn Rice still has that record.
Okay, that's dope.
Mitch Richmond. There you go.
Mitch Richmond.
It's not that serious. People have no idea how much of a beast he was. Michael Jordan said that was his toughest guard was Mitch Richmond. He said he had hell trying to deal with him. Michael Redd, that's another great one. Go Cast Hoops was good. Michael Redd, that's a good one.
Oh man, Michael Redd. Man, Michael Redd was a dog.
Shoot that thing, boy. He shoot that thing.
He was a dog. Didn't he have a cover on
Steve Austin Carr? Go Irish.
Get a cover.
Michael Redd, did he get one?
I think he got a cover of a game. It's either 2K or live or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, guy. Gilbert Arenas was tough too. Them early Wizard years.
Agent Zero, boy.
He gave Kobe what 50?
60.
Gave Kobe 60.
60.
Just put it in his eye every time. Like, damn.
You know what? Here's a name doesn't get mentioned a lot on this one-on-one. Allen Houston. Allen Houston gave Kobe 50. And then the next night in New Jersey, Steph Marbury gave Kobe 50. That was a tough trip to the East Coast that time.
Boy.
Those guys were in their prime. And, you know, Kobe was the best guard in the league. So everybody's going at him.
You got to go at Kobe, yeah.
But you know, Kobe's not going to turn down the assignment. So he's like, hey, okay, you know, we got to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, all great dudes, man.
Len Bias, that's another great one. That would have been.
But he didn't make it in the NBA though.
No, he died with the coke overdose.
No. I know what I know who Len Bias.
That would have been crazy because him and Jordan was supposed to be it. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, let's go ahead and let's get to this last topic, y'all, and we will let you get out of here and enjoy your Sunday.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Final topic. Let's go.
Cam Ward.
Number one overall pick.
I
love this story right here. Go ahead.
Bruce sent me.
Yes. I love this.
A disturbing message. Bruce.
Yeah.
I'm let me open this thing up. I want to quote you very, very properly. I don't want to misquote what you sent me because I damn near spazzed out when he sent me this, guys. Let me see. Let me find. Cam Ward,
yes,
was kicked out of the facility by his coaching staff, and it came from this article by Louis Riddick. Makes his thought known on Cam Ward after Titans quarterback got kicked from the office. ESPN analyst Louis Riddick has lulled Tennessee Titans rookie quarterback Cam Ward, calling him a football savant after the number one pick was reportedly kicked out of the team's facility for spending excessive hours studying. I'm going to read that again. The number one pick was reportedly kicked out of the team's facility for spending excessive hours studying. I'm going to put a pin in it right there. Kicked out of the facility for excessive hours studying. I don't give a damn if he falls asleep in that mud studying.
That's right. That's right.
Why are you hindering that man from studying the game?
Trying to be great.
He's trying to be.
He is showing you what he wants to be and how bad he wants it.
Why is this? That's like a teacher kicking a student out because you're learning too much about the book, right? You're reading too much to the book. We're in chapter 1, but you're already in chapter 3. Why am I stopping this student that I'm the teacher of from learning more and more and more? Because maybe there is a reference in chapter 3 that's relatable in chapter 1 for football. The man is studying the game. He has yet to play one NFL snap.
Right.
So this man has a lot to learn because there's a huge difference from Miami, Florida, and the Hurricanes to the Tennessee Titans. We've just witnessed ever since Steve McNair. Steve McNair, there is yet to be a good quarterback in Tennessee. Vince Young came from the Texans, tried it, failed. They just had Will Levis, tried it, failed. Right? Everybody they had, we got one of the not Will Levis. He's in Green Bay now. Forget his name, but you're talking about Malik Willis. Malik Willis had him, failed it. Right? They've done a poor job at quarterback management, almost similar to the Bears, but not quite as bad. But since Steve McNair, there's yet to be a good quarterback. There's yet to be a good quarterback. So now this kid, the number one pick, is spending excessive hours studying film and studying the game. Right. Kick that man out of the facility. What they do that, Bruce? I'm gonna let you go ahead.
I don't know where they do that, man. I don't know where they do that. Snead had an interesting comment. He says this is the Titans trying to be cute and justifying the first overall pick. I can only hope.
Now you sound dumb.
I can only hope that by putting this out there, you're showing what a great pick you made. That's what I don't get. So let me say this. I love this. I love hearing about guys like this because when we look at the other all-time greats, right? When we look at your, I'm just going to use two, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. What are these guys known for?
Their work ethic, insane amounts of film study, right?
Yeah. That's what allowed these guys to be great. So when I hear and see a guy, like a Malik Willis, and they're saying he's spending so much time in there, we had to tell him go home. I think that's freaking amazing, especially because we got some people here in this chat that when I talk about people need to be in the gym, people need to be focusing on their craft and not other stuff, right? Those people tell me I'm too militant. There's more to life to it than that. Why I got to be on them like that? No. Like, this is your craft. You're living the dream that most people wish they could. You're making tens and in some cases hundreds of millions of dollars to do this. Master your craft. Why do so many people have Brady as the GOAT? I know some don't, but why do so many people do? Why? Because he mastered his craft.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that, right?
When his team needed him, he knew every defense. He knew how to check. He knew every audible. He knew where his receivers need to be because Tom Brady, he threw where you were supposed to be.
Right.
Tom, he wasn't looking at you like Aaron Rodgers scrambles out the pocket and you have to. They call it backyard football, where now the receivers got to scramble, but they got to go a certain way for where the quarterback's going. That's not Tom. It's not Tom's specialty.
Right.
Tom needs you to be if you're running a 10-yard button hook, you need to be at 10 yards. If you're at 9.5, the ball is off.
Right.
Tom is going to look at you crazy
right.
From because the film.
I was just about to say that's what the film said needs to happen. The film
said you need to be right here. From the eyes of the fans, you're like, damn, Tom, that was a bad throw. But Tom is yelling at that receiver for some reason. He ran the wrong route.
Right.
The route, he didn't run it good. And I'm like, you need to be. half a yard in. And he's probably that yard is big to Tom because I'm throwing it where you're supposed to be because we practiced this, we studied this. I know where the hole is at in their defense. That got picked off because you didn't go to your spot. So I'm not stopping this kid from studying, man. Like even what Snead's saying, this is a publicity stunt.
Maybe
the Titans look dumb. Like
right.
Now you're hindering a kid from studying. What does this tell the other quarterbacks? Oh man, y'all gonna kick us out if we studying too much? But didn't y'all just get on Kyler Murray for
not studying enough?
For not studying enough?
Great point.
You play Call of Duty too much. We need you to study the playbook.
Right.
But this kid's coming in, not even play the NFL snap.
Yeah, 5 in the morning. Facility. He's in there. Yeah,
excessive studying. Come on, man. I just don't like it. I just don't like that story. I'd rather you applaud the kid. Like they brought that man a hammock.
I think that they were trying. trying to make him look good by putting the story. I guess it's just about how you put the story out. Tim Jones says you signed a $100 million contract. You wanted life. It's human nature to become complacent after you win at life. True indeed. But this is, as Snead said, this is what separates good from great, right? Like we talked about Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, these guys on that level, they wanted life. They got hundreds of millions of dollars, but they were still psycho about mastering their craft. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, like that's why certain guys are different. Even after they won at life, they're still trying to get every little leg up, every little edge, every little nuance, every little possibility to dominate. All right. Let me say this. Let me respond to the chat. Let me respond to the chat. First of all, who's flip-flopping? There's no flip-flopping going on here.
I gotta sit up too.
I had Shadur Sanders as my QB1. Still do. I didn't take a shot at Shadur. Who brought up Shadur? Y'all did. This has nothing to do with Shadur. All I'm saying is I like this story about Cam Ward. That has zero to do with Shadur. So don't try to misrepresent me. Matter of fact, let me not make it sound nice. Don't lie on me because I didn't never say anything about Shadur. I have never flip-flopped and said, oh, because of this, I will take Cam Ward over Shadur. I had Shadur, and Transformer can attest to this. Matter of fact, all y'all can who've been on this show, I had Shadur as my QB1 in this draft since his first year at Colorado, and I haven't moved off of that. So don't try that. That doesn't mean that I can't enjoy this story that I'm hearing from Cam Ward about him living in the film room. That has nothing to do with Shadur. I didn't mention Shadur. Y'all mentioned Shadur. So hold that. Don't lie on me. Get the hell out of here. Next.
End quote. End quote.
Transformer, you a damn fool. Marco Glasses was good. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Do that? The hell?
Yeah. To finish off what Louis Riddick had to say, Ward selected in the 2025 NFL Draft has impressed during the OTA, showcasing his work ethic. Obviously, we've seen that. The man is spending excessive hours studying film.
Yes.
Right? And football IQ. Riddick highlighted Ward's leadership and composure, noting his potential to be the Tennessee's franchise quarterback following the 3-14 season. The Titans transitioning from Will Levis see Ward as a key to their rebuild. Coach Brian Callahan praised Ward's command of play calls, while veteran Calvin Ridley called him a stone-cold killer with a fearless mentality. Ward's dedication has Titans fans buzzed as he prepares for Week 1 start against the Denver Broncos. End quote. So obviously, to Bruce's point and Snead's point earlier, you're boosting up your quarterback. Use different words, man. Don't kick that man out. Get that man a hammock. Get that man a sleeping bag, a teddy bear.
Yeah. If you want to stay, hey, you're our guy. You got the keys to the building, man. Just lock up. You can
stay as long as you want. I believe Chad Ochocinco, shout out Chad, has stories of where, man, I spent the night at the facility sometime, man. It's cheaper.
Right, he did say that. He would say he was living at the facility.
I take my showers. I get my workout. I got food. It's like, right. Got a free place to live, right?
Right. He had to get him up out of there. No, that's a great one. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So if you're looking at Cam Ward, man, bring that man a blanket.
Yes.
Bring that man a pillow. Like that man's gonna go to sleep in here. I want my quarterback.
Air mattress with some Titan sheets on it.
Some Titan sheets, man. The whole air mattress is going to be Titan. We're going to paint that joint on the side of it, right? Like if you're invested your future into this kid, right?
Yeah,
your first overall pick. You believe that this guy is the future of your your future, of your franchise. Let that man study away. Let him study. I'm not kicking you out at all. Because the play you just kicked him out on that he was probably studying, that's the one he messes up on in week 1.
Right.
That's the one. Because you kicked him out.
Study. Did Brady overstudy? He got 7 chips.
Albert Einstein overstudy.
Did Peyton Manning overstudy? 4 trips to the Super Bowl, widely regarded as a top 5 or 6 quarterback ever. Like, whatever.
Smart wins. Smart quarterbacks do win, or they become very, very great offensive coordinators.
Sure do.
And then coaches. Right? These guys study the game, man. They truly study the game. Like, let that kid study, bro. Film junkie, fiending for the playbook. Like, coach, what a playbook. I need to see. I need to see the playbook. I need to see the playbook. Son, take it. Damn. Stop scratching. Stop stuttering. Like, okay, appreciate it, coach. Whew. All right, man, guys. You know what I mean? Because that type of mentality, that rubs off on your teammates.
It does.
That rubs off on your teammates. Right. Now your receivers, they're like, he knows every route.
Right.
Say less.
Yeah.
Say less. Oh, he knows the offensive line who's protecting him. Oh, you know all the audibles. So you know what I'm saying when I say this, and you see that when I see this linebacker, that's what I'm saying. Cam Ward, like, I saw that on page 14. That's what you like to call. You like that call, right?
Right.
Cool. So if I say double tundra, that's say less. That's your teammates now. They're locked in. Coaching staff, they can make it simple for you. Because this ain't college where they got signs on the sideline.
Right.
You reading that crap. No, these stadiums are loud. You got an earpiece in. Like, no.
You got to be able to look out there, see that defense, identify where that Mike linebacker is, identify that safety coming down, what you're seeing, what you're supposed to do, where you go with that football. Absolutely.
You just saw not Justin Fields, Jay McDaniels, when what's his coach's name? Came from Dallas. Commanders coach.
Oh yeah. Oh man. The defensive coordinator. His name is.
Come on, help me out.
And I remember either.
It's on the top of my head. I just can't. I can see him with the hat on too.
Yeah. Dan.
Hat backwards.
Dan something.
Not Dan Campbell. That's Detroit.
No. It is
Dan. No, it's Dan Rather. Somebody totally different. Damn, but he was just Dan Quinn. Thank you, Love Aries. Dan Quinn. Right.
You know why she knew that? Because you said the Cowboys coach. That's how she
yeah.
Came from the Cowboys.
Yeah. My bad. Dan Quinn. She knows exactly who that is. But anyway, you look at the chemistry between Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels. Dan Quinn had the ultimate confidence in Jaden Daniels. Why? Yeah. Jaden Daniels probably fell asleep in that locker room studying. He knew the plays. He had the ultimate confidence on 4th and 2, 4th and 3. Dan Quinn. Jaden, I got it. That's the ultimate confidence. Let that kid Cam Ward instill that same confidence in Tennessee. Like, hey, man, don't worry about it. Oh, it's 4th and 1? Cool. I know what play to call. Lineman, y'all with me? Receivers, y'all with me? They're like, boy, we know you know the whole book.
Right. Absolutely.
That excessive studying is finna come into play now. So, yeah, man.
So let me ask this, Bruce, man, why are you trying to say that studying is not important? Like, where do you get this from? He's really trying to argue this. He's throwing all this stuff out there to say that studying doesn't make you a better quarterback. It's not important. You don't have kids, do you? You can't have kids.
No.
Right. Studying's not important. Don't worry about that. Really? Okay.
Didn't he say he had a 3.9 GPA?
He did say that. I guess you got to study. You got to study for that.
You got to study for that, bro.
Yeah. You got to study for that. That's a fact.
You got to study for that, bro. Like, that's crazy work. You got to study for that. Anthony Richardson was a film junkie. Anthony Richardson didn't know how to read the game.
Right.
Like, you can know the playbook. Like, there's a lot of, like, when you add the talent with the knowledge, you get a great player. That's how it works. A lot of players come in the league, they just want to utilize their talent to succeed. You see how far that gets them.
That's right.
Some cats come to the league with no talent, and they just smart. They have the knowledge, but you see how far they can go, right? But when you merge the two together,
you
got the talent and the knowledge, you get a Patrick Mahomes, you get a Tom Brady, you get a Peyton Manning, you get an Aaron Rodgers, you get those type of quarterbacks to where they got both. So I can beat you with my talent on one play, and I'm gonna outsmart you on the very next play.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, because you think I'm gonna go that way, and Peyton called that audible at the last second, and actually the play is going this way. You just didn't see it, right? So
that's right.
No, man, study the game, bro. Let these kids study.
That's it.
Not studying is crazy work.
Yeah. All right, Joel, we gonna go ahead. We're gonna open the phone lines up for the last time. Y'all know the number 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. Transformer and I think I could safely speak for him on this one. We love the idea that Cam Ward is an absolute film junkie. Absolutely. And by the way, since y'all want to slight me, Shedeur did get a lot of love in terms of, what he's doing in camp, how he's becoming a leader in the locker room. Guys love him. Leader on and off the floor, how he's really grasping the offense, doing his studying and all that. Although, again, this particular topic was not an indictment on Shedeur. I don't even know how Shedeur got mentioned, but whatever. I guess we got a bunch of people who want to glaze Dion, so I guess that's what it's all about. But Chief Sneed, what you got, man?
Johnny Manziel, bro. Johnny Manziel.
Talent,
so the other version of this. Yeah, this is what happened. This is the other version where they don't go to the facility. This is the version where, the other side of it, where you can't get them to open the playbook or study the defense or be prepared on Sunday. Bro, there's stories of Johnny Manziel pulling up 2 hours before the game.
That's crazy.
There were talks of him falling asleep in the QB room. Bro, there's 5 guys in the QB room.
Right.
You're falling asleep in front of the people who are trying to catapult your career.
Right.
Because
exactly.
it's contingent upon the winning of the franchise.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's 5 guys in there. You can't hide it if you're asleep.
No, absolutely not.
So that's the other version of this, where you don't care at all. So you can either have the guy who cares too much, and you're like, okay, so this guy doesn't have a life. All he lives and breathes is football. Okay, I'll take that because that's what Peyton did.
Right.
And that's what Brady did. And that's what Andrew Luck did. And that's what all these guys, these Pro Bowl players, Hall of Fame, that's what they did. And I think they were trying to be cute with this, Bruce. I think they're trying to be cute. Like, look at the guy we drafted. Here's what he does.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a shot at anybody else. I think it's just them justifying the pick, saying we got the best guy.
Yeah, I don't think it was a shot at anyone else. I think they're bigging up their guy and saying, this is the guy that we got, and we are excited for his future, and he's showing us, what he wants to be. It's just like, when I think now I am bringing up Shedeur in the pre-draft workouts when they were working out together, and Shedeur was like, hey, you wanna do a rap video? And he was like, nah, I do football. And he was like, well, what do you do for fun? He was like, I do football.
I do football.
That's his life. And I'm good with that. Until you've truly established yourself, this should be your life. You're young. You don't have a wife. You don't have kids. You making millions, but go get that. Let that be your focus. You know what I mean? So that's just me.
The world of greatness involves people who are not normal.
That's right.
That are not well balanced.
That's right.
They don't know how to. They're like the only way I'm going to reach the goal that I really want is complete self-sacrifice.
Right.
I have to give up everything that will take me away from this goal.
That's right.
Steve Jobs talked about this. All these great CEOs talk about it all the time. I need unusual people leading my company.
Right. Yeah.
I need unusual people leading what I need to accomplish. I need the people who don't sleep. I need the people who don't even forget about lunch. And it's not because they don't want to pay them. They just need them so obsessed with the winning part. Man, good for them. They got themselves a guy. I liked him out of college. I think he's going to be a fine quarterback. I think sometimes some things are out of your control when you look at a quarterback's career and trajectory, like the players around him, the coach, the system. You know, you look at some players, they end up getting mauled because they don't have offensive linemen. At least we could say this guy has the upstairs and the mentality to put himself in a position to be great. At least you're starting there as the foundation of his career. You can't get this guy out of the film room. That's something worth celebrating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Get that man a hammock.
You guys remember Jamarcus Russell?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Bruce brought him up in the chat a little while ago. Yeah.
Yeah. They talk about how he'd be standing on he'd be on his knees throwing 56-yard bombs, and it's like, who cares?
Right.
There were 20 guys in the league at the time who were better than him who couldn't throw it like that.
That's right.
But they were prepared to play on Sunday. Bro, do you remember Colt McCoy?
Mm-hmm.
That guy was regular. That is a regular dude in terms of NFL standards.
Yes.
And he played like 20 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But just because he
was
was
out there a long time. It wasn't 20, but he was out there for
like
a
15.
long time. Yeah, it was a long time he was in the league. Mm-hmm.
Bro, I swear he was playing for the Cardinals like 2 years ago, bro. I swear to God.
Colt McCoy was around for a long time, for real.
He was around for longer than what he should have been. But like 20, I don't think he did 20 years.
Bro. But that's just a pro being a pro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a basic guy. Was he 6 feet tall, maybe 6'1"?
13 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a smaller dude, slight in build, and he just, you know, he's tough, obviously, but like, there's regular guys that have that same mentality of preparation and readiness, because your number is going to get called eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
then
for it.
I think it's what's going to be amazing, Bruce. You guys brought up the situation where there's going to be a game situation where that play may come into, you know, in game, and he'll like remember it. You know, it'll be like, I know this defense. I saw this defense. Or I remember when they called this and we ran this in practice and I saw it on the film. You know, that stuff happens. So I'm a coach. I coach like my daughter's teams, you know, like travel soccer, travel softball and stuff. There's no better moment when you see it happen the way it was planned and the way it was drawn up in practice. You know, and then like the celebration and to see the success of the player, and that's what you want to see from these guys, the preparedness, and then it shows up on Sundays. I'm jealous, bro. I wish my quarterbacks had that. My quarterback was Deshaun Watson. According to reports, that guy didn't know how to read defenses, and his coach was doing it for him for the first 20 seconds of the play clock.
That's
you know
crazy.
what I mean?
I did not know that, because remember, when he was at his peak in Houston, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He was killing.
Bro, they said, and this is the people out of the Texans, they said that they would rush the play so that way they could rush him to the line and still have the mic communication with the headphone that's in the helmet. So then Bill O'Brien would read the defense for him, tell him where to go with the ball.
So the only thing I'll say about that's iffy, because obviously we know that, you know, they ended up having beef with him, and then of course all the other stuff. So it's like, can we really trust what they're saying about him after the fact?
Well,
and
how
not
did
trying to
Deshaun
smear
Watson
him? You know what I mean?
How did Deshaun Watson do in Cleveland?
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm just saying, looking at both sides. Yeah, that's true.
Sounds to me like that's the guy, but it sounds to me like that's the guy who doesn't care enough.
That's fair.
And there's enough of that. We don't need that anymore.
Yeah.
In 2025, we need more Cam Wards and less DeMarcus Russells.
Agreed. By the way,
That's
y'all should have kept Baker touchdown maker. I'm just saying.
Come on, man. Don't remind me, bro.
You know Baker's my guy. I know I got some bias. I love Baker, man. I
love Baker too, but you know, this is what happens when your owner is impatient and tries to jump the process. Playing the upside, not realizing the last time this guy was Pro Bowl was 4 years ago. You know, and I'm talking about from when he was brought to Cleveland.
Well, listen, y'all got it right, man. I think Shedeur is going to be the guy. As long as they don't set him up for failure, he's going to be the guy, and it's going to be okay.
It's going to be a long year. There's going to be some bumps and bruises along the way, but I'm happy. I'm good.
No doubt.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right, Sneed. Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. Sneed always got good calls, man.
Absolutely.
We got some informed, intelligent callers, man.
Some insightful viewers,
Insightful viewers. I like insightful. Oh man. All right, so We're going to take one more call here. We're going to wait another minute or two. And if nobody calls in, we go, oh, there we go.
Right on time.
Yo, how does he do that? Every time.
Steve, yeah, he's always the last one. That's Steve.
Every time.
Yep, I knew it was Steve.
What's up, Steve?
What up, fellas?
King of the chat.
Just had that, brother.
No, I was just starting to say we're gonna wait another minute or two, and if we don't get any more calls, we'll go ahead and wrap the show. Every time I start to say that, that's exactly when you call. That's funny.
My timing is impeccable.
Impeccable.
I'm unblemished.
Unblemished.
Anyway,
My style is
honestly,
ferocious.
I think I might be lagging a little bit. I think. What's that?
My style is ferocious. My defense is impregnable.
Impeccable. I eat your heart. Praise be to Allah. I eat your heart. I eat your children.
That was crazy.
Praise be to Allah.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
In all honesty, man, I really don't. I think I might be lagging like maybe 20 seconds on my stream because I don't hear you saying that when I call in.
It's all good. I think there is a lag. So
yeah, it is.
Yeah, that has to be it because I promise I'm really not intentionally doing it.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good.
But listen, first off, what up, Twizzler?
What's happening, Steve?
Hey, listen, man, I got to give you props today. I don't actually disagree with anything you said today, but just know deep down inside, there's something I disagree with you with.
Disagree
I get that out of the way.
Wow.
Listen, you didn't. It didn't manifest today, but just deep down, no, I do disagree with you on something.
Hey, I got you, bro. It's something I said. It was probably one or two things. You just probably didn't catch it.
Probably. I'll rewatch the film. I'll break it down. I'll get back.
You're gonna study. You're gonna spend excessive hours studying the film to catch what you didn't
That's
agree
how
with.
we do it, man. I'm like Cam Ward out here, bro.
Yes, sir.
Ward out here. But first off, shout out Sneed, man. He had a couple great calls today. I feel like I learned something every time Sneed calls in.
Yeah, Sneed
shout
sharp,
out
man.
to him.
Definitely.
And I'm not pushing back on him because I do think there's a degree of Tennessee probably putting this out into the media to market themselves a bit and market their pick. I do think there's some substance there. But what I would say is like that doesn't mean it's untrue though. So it's like if you're going to market off of the good decision making of your future quarterback, I don't see anything wrong with that. But I do agree there's a media component to it where it's like, yeah, there is some self-servingness to try to amplify, your draft pick and your decision in taking him. But my point is like, doesn't mean it's untrue. And Bruce, we talk college ball a lot.
We do.
I've been on Cam. I really wasn't a follower at the time because this would have been 2023. Yeah, 2023. I was a fan of Cam when he was at Washington State before the Miami year this last season. And the reason I was high on him this whole time, and even when things came out this year with Miami and the way he played, this is what I'd say. He was at Washington State, and he had to earn that.
Yeah.
He had to earn getting to just even a Division I school. So the dude, he's a grinder. Like he's going to work because it wasn't handed to him. And when he ended up in Washington State, his record isn't going to show it. But at that time, that was the last year of the Big 12. You had Bo Nix in Oregon. You had Caleb at USC. You had Penix at Washington.
Yeah.
You had Shador at Colorado. And you had I can't remember the cat's name. He was the quarterback at Arizona, and they had a good season that year. I can't remember the dude's name. No disrespect. But my point is, he went into a flooded quarterback conference, and he produced.
Yeah.
Now, their record wasn't the best because it is Washington State.
Right.
So I kind of give him a little bit of leeway there. But his avenue to even get to Washington State in that flooded conference with quarterbacks, I mean, the dude showed out. And he was competitive against a lot of really good teams. That last year, the Pac-12, people might not remember, but it was very competitive. It was loaded. And then we see him go to Miami and flourish. And this is what I would say. That Miami roster, I'm not trying to knock them. I know they're on the upcoming, and I'm not trying to slander them before we play them in week one. But that roster was really not that good.
No.
Cam was the reason they got 10 wins.
I mean, he was electric there.
Yeah, he was.
And you see all of these, like, I'm not big on, like, oh, let me just watch a reel or a clip and I'm going to, like, portray an entire analysis off of something so quick. But, like, when you see Cam Ward in these clips that he's doing viral with, like, this dude is competitive. Like, that's the stuff you want to see from a quarterback, where it's like, this dude wants to grind. He's always wanting to work. He's calling out other people in these workouts saying, you're not getting better today. You know, like, that's the type of leadership you want in an NFL locker room.
Yeah.
So I've been high on Cam Ward. Maybe it was my fault that the Shador stuff came up, because I did say if this was a Shador story, everybody would be twerking. But because it's Cam, you know, nobody really cares, or they're going to diminish it. And maybe that was my fault.
Oh, we wasn't twerking, but we were applauding it.
Right. And they were talking. There's been a fair amount of talk about the great job that Shador is doing in camp, and you know how he's grasping the offense, and you know how he's not being a problem in the locker room. The guys like him. He's good off the field and all that. So he's been getting his fair amount of credit for what he's doing. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been reading good things on Shador too. It's not diminishing Shador. I just said it because it was like, man, if this was Shador, everybody would be so pumped about it, because this is like this is one of those boxes that you check as a quarterback and showing, hey, this is good leadership. This is what we want to see.
Correct.
But I'm telling you, we've talked college ball for a long time, Bruce. I'm high on Cam. This kid's mental makeup and his story leading up to his road to Washington State, and then going to Miami and taking that Miami roster. Like, I'll be honest, I don't know if Miami's a 5-6 win team without Cam this last season. Their defense was awful. They really didn't have much at the wide receiver position. He kind of made a lot of something out of nothing. And I think if you have that type of trajectory and that type of history in college, like, and we're hearing this about him, you know, he's in the film room, he's getting kicked out. There's a little bit of theater to that, probably, like Snead was saying. I don't disagree with him. But this is what we want to see, man. These young guys that are willing to get and do the extra things to make themselves great. Now, that remains to be seen. Anything can happen. We don't know how he's going to end up being. But it's like, man, this is the stuff you like to hear from a young guy, which it seems more to be rare than anything, because there's this entitlement mentality with the younger guys. Not all, but generally speaking. But I don't know, man. I'm high on Cam Ward. I think the kid is I think he's going to be special. He's got the mental makeup. He's got the work ethic. This is the stuff we like to hear.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got anything else, Steve?
No, I'll let you close it out this time. Such a burden. I'm just holding the stream down. I get it.
No, I appreciate it. We got one more call when you're done. So.
Right on. Well, let him get to it, man. I'll pop off here.
Hey, I appreciate it, Steve. Thanks for the great call, man.
King Steve, always a pleasure.
There we go.
Take care.
Yes, sir.
I think we just missed. Oh, man. Hey, Bruce, call right back. Sorry, I hit the wrong button, man. Call right back. All right, we're going to take this call from Bruce, and then we'll call it. Yeah, this was a good show today, man. Some good topics here. Here we go. Bruce, what up? What up?
Hey, man. Let me ask you something, man. How you feeling? First of all, how y'all feeling this morning?
Feeling good, man.
Feeling good. Feeling cheesy.
Beautiful day. Great show. Can't complain.
So this was you coming. This was you messing with me last night when you sent that message. You said you don't like Cam Ward living in the film room, huh? That's what made Brady and Manning great, isn't it? Well, what makes you think I don't like Cam Ward living in the film room, Brucey?
Oh, because when I talk about people need to be focusing on their craft, you always get on me. You too militant. There's other things to life. Let people live. Da da da. I'm like, nah. You making all this money. Get in there and lock it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Did you talk about? No, you hate when I talk about QBs being locked in. So I'm sure you can't stand that he's living in the film room and having to be locked out of the facility by coaches. I never said anything about that, Bruce.
No, I'm saying the principle of it. I'm not saying that you said that specifically. It's the principle. Like remember when I was saying that Lamar don't need to be on power. He need to be figuring out how to win these playoff games.
It's Bruce in the offseason. He earned his cash. He can do what he want to do.
I mean, yeah, he can do what he want to do, but I mean, what would Brady be doing? That would be my question.
Oh, stop that. Brady probably stop it, Bruce.
But Brady had a movie during the season. He was in Ted too.
Was he?
Yeah.
I don't know. Huh?
What was the point
How many chips he had when he was in Ted 2? Probably about 4 by then, right?
It was 5.
There you go.
Before his fifth one, yeah.
So that's okay. my man can hit you with a fistful of rings by then. That's okay. Nah, but go ahead, Bruce. My bad, man.
So what was the point of the topic? Was you throwing shade at someone else?
No, why do I have to throw shade? We were actually giving love to Cam Ward for his dedication and his diligence early in his career, because that's what we love to see. And a lot of times cats don't get enough love for stuff like this. That's what the point of this topic was.
Well, they kicked him out for a reason.
Yeah, 4.
4. Okay.
4.
Still.
They kicked him out for a reason.
Nah, I think they just told him, man, go home, man, get some rest.
To watch his brain, you can't overtrain your brain, bro. Just like you can't overtrain your body, bro.
No, you cannot overtrain your brain. No, you can't.
Oh, Lord.
You can't overtrain your brain.
But on some real, like him locking himself in the film room, that is a dope thing. That's a dope, how could I say, habit to have. But all of it won't matter if he's doing all that film study
and he can't play. No, I'm with you. You. No doubt. But I'm saying a lot of times what we see with the greats is this type of behavior. That's all. Nobody's saying this means he's going to go out and become the GOAT, but but we see there are certain behavioral patterns among the elites. Like Sneed said, like elite people in any field of endeavor, they're not normal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Don't you remember when the Raiders gave Jamarcus Russell a blank VHS tape and he lied to say he watched film?
That's crazy.
Hey, man. Hey, y'all boys have a good Sunday. Hey, me and Wildy Ray start a pod called Dumb and Dumber, y'all. Y'all like subscribe and share.
Yeah, y'all do that.
Dumb and Dumber. You might get flagged for copyright, bro. You might want to change that.
Oh, man, that's funny.
It might be a copyright infringement thing.
Stupid and stupider.
Or dumb and dumbass. But that might be what that might work.
That's how y'all feel about me. That's messed up, yo.
You said it. I'm giving you alternatives to your name, bro. You brought it to our attention.
Before I go, man, can't wait for the game tonight. I just can't wait. I'm full of curiosity, and hey, man, this game tonight will be very intriguing because OKC that doesn't handle their business. Say good night. And hey, I got Indy winning anyway because if Rick Carlisle call out coach OKC, it is what it is. So,
all right, so chat members, y'all heard him. All right, this man has been picking them right, left and right. He has Indiana winning. Do you got an over and under, brother? Do you got a point spread?
Okay, so real quick, 1 minute. Shout out to Abdul Mason, man. The kid looked amazing last night. He stopped and busted pretty open. And it was, man, this kid is really, really good. Abdul Mason, y'all, watch the name.
Yeah, he's very good.
Shame on Sean Davis. And his behavior, after the fight, man, like, just don't spiral his career down the wrong path, and hopefully he'll get it together, man. So we all make mistakes and bad choices in life. Hopefully he'll learn from this. Y'all boys have a great Sunday, man.
All right, brother. You have a good one too, man. All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap it right there. Again, thank you for all the interaction in the chat. Thank you for the calls. We appreciate it. Appreciate the love. Appreciate you being here. If you're new or if you haven't already, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe on the way out. Really appreciate it. And also share the show, man. Share the show. Let's get more people out here in the Format Podcast community. And we're gonna leave it right there. We out.
We out.
Peace.
Peace.